Sup? Hi friends, welcome in. Jada Neko Variety Streamer. Cook, I craft, I do whatever the fuck I want up in her. And what I'm doing today is diamond painting. I'm sure you're as jazzed as I am. Why yes, that is sarcasm. Fix the camera. Alright. We're also gonna watch some Am I the Asshole? I'll pause that sucker. And before I get yelled at. We're gonna have some fun tonight, 'cause you can't touch my boobies. Don't be shy, yeah, it's alright, 'cause you can't touch my boobies. There, now nobody can bitch, 'cause I played it. Boop boop. Alright. Oh, already unstable? That's fantastic. I love that for me. You ready, you ready, you ready? Alright, watch the Asians cook shit.
My entitled neighbor thinks she owns the whole building. You can call her Karen.
I'm putting you under citizen's arrest.
This story was posted in Entitled People, and it's called The Saga of an Entitled New Neighbor Who Thinks She Owns the Entire Apartment Building. This is a long one, so strap in. I, 31 female, live in a block of 6 units, apartments for non-Australians. A month ago, the unit above mine went up for sale and sold fairly quickly, and the other new owner moved in less than a week ago. This morning, I got up to take rubbish out. For those non-Australians, that's trash. And found a note stuck to my door. Not the note. Already? I honestly thought it was a I'm new to the building kind of note. You know? Oh, I could not have been more wrong. Dear tenant, I recently bought your building and wished to introduce myself. Oh, my name, blah, blah, blah. Not going to put her actual name. And I think you will find me a fair landlord. However, I do have rules.
Landlord? You bought a unit?
1. Everyone is to be in their units by 9 p.m.
Ah!
Actual phone. If you're going to be out past this, I suggest you find accommodation elsewhere. I beg your finest pardon? How militant. 2. No pets allowed. If you have any, they must be relocated before I do an inspection, or I will call the ranger to remove them. This is the only warning. Can people do this?
Crazy
3.
people.
I will conduct an inspection once a month, and you will be present to answer any questions or face eviction. Okay. 4. Failure to pay rent on time will result in your eviction. If we follow all these rules, I'm sure we will get along. Sincerely, blah, blah. What the f*** did I just read?
Is this real life?
Ain't an expert on buildings. Is this person actually your landlord? Okay. This question gets answered. Fun fact about my building, we all own our units. Nobody actually owns the whole building.
I told you.
Ooh, this is gonna be bad. I can already
Crazies.
tell. I won't lie, I got to the number 2 and
Craziness.
I had a slight panic attack because I have cats and there's no way I was giving them away before I remembered we bought our unit just before Christmas. We rented it from a friend prior, and when she told me she was thinking about selling,
These
we
are where
bought
the
it. Didn't even
excess
have to move.
shiny
In some ways, it still
shits
feels
go.
like renting, but we actually own our unit. I have literally never heard of something like this before. I feel like landlords are the only people that can really decide if you can own pets and have pets in your units. But if you don't have a landlord, you're the landlord. Oh yeah, no, this is gonna be bad. Like,
Crazy
Now, I'm
banana.
not great at confronting someone. I tend to share a lot, but at that moment I was quite angry. So I went upstairs and knocked on her door. You know, that gut feeling you have? It was spot on. That door opened and there stood a Karen. Her hair blonder than my own, her nails long and bright colored. She didn't look happy to see me there. I introduced myself and explained I lived downstairs and I wanted to talk to her about her note. She started to talk over top of me, explaining that her letter was basic rules and even a child could understand it, and if I didn't like her rules, I could hand in a letter to vacate. Yeah, no, that doesn't really work that way, not when you own the unit. Wow. I would ask if people are really this up themselves, but I work in retail and could answer my own question. I told her that I actually own my unit. She hadn't bought it or the rest of the building, but only her own unit, and that she couldn't enforce anything in her note. She didn't like that at all. She started yelling at me. saying that yes, she had indeed bought the whole building and that failure to comply with her rules would mean I would be evicted. I was just starting to think maybe I was wrong when another neighbor opened up his door. He came out and asked what the issue was about and could she stop screaming as he worked nights and he was trying to sleep. Isn't it funny, the people that seem hell-bent on enforcing rules are always the people that don't seem to follow rules themselves?
Sorry, I'm
talking about the fact that
diamond
she's
painting.
screaming in the hallway. I'm assuming that's a rule. I mean, it's just like an unwritten rule. Don't scream in the hallway. I told him I was trying to explain that she hadn't bought the building and she started yelling again. My neighbor told her to stop and then said the best thing I'd heard that day. Are you Her jaw dropped as he explains to her how wrong she was and that he was in fact part of the strata committee, kind of like an HOA that oversees the building, and that she had no right to make rules for everyone. She gave us dirty looks before slamming the door. I thanked him, and he said in the entire time he lived there, he had never seen someone so entitled. Oh, honey, we're just getting started. That's just the first part. If you're enjoying this video, you enjoy this channel, I know a lot of you watch this channel without subscribing, please.
Not
subscribe.
me.
Hang out with me.
I
Stay a while.
sub.
It would mean the world. Post number 2. My new neighbor thinks she can park anywhere. Remember what I said about people making rules that don't seem to follow anyone else's rules? So I guess this is an update to my last post. I had a lot of people ask me to post if she did anything else. This is also currently happening and my significant other is witnessing it and texting me as I'm at work. She's been quiet for the past few days and I thought maybe that's it. Apparently I was wrong. So each unit in our building is allocated 1 parking space. Just 1. I park in mine and my significant other parks his car on the street on the other side of the building. Our parking lot had 1 visitor space. It's a very small parking lot, 6 spots for residents and 1 visitor. The visitor spot is almost always empty and my neighbors have said my significant other could park his car there if he wanted, as we were the only unit with 2 cars, but he doesn't mind parking where he is. This morning, my significant other woke up to yelling. Our kitchen window overlooks the parking lot and he snuck a peek out the window and saw entitled neighbor standing next to our nice neighbor's car, and they were arguing loudly. She kept yelling that she had a second car and needed to park in his spot, and he had to move his car or else she would have it towed. I'm sorry, his designated spot that he's legally allowed to park in? He kept repeating that it was his parking spot and she could either park it in the visitor spot or on the street, and if she towed his car, he would report it stolen. Significant other said she kept yelling she can park where she wants, and he needed to move it or else. So my significant other decided to park his car in my empty spot in case she tried to park there while I'm at work. Last message he sent me, she stormed upstairs in a huff and slammed her door. Update, I got home from work and she's parked her second car in the visitor spot, but she's parked it so badly it's blocking the driveway in. Right now, I'm parked on the street, but too tired to deal with her. Anybody else's blood pressure rising? Update 2. Sorry I didn't update sooner. So like I said, before her car was basically blocking the driveway and I had to park on the street. Anyway, when I got up for work the next day, it was still there. But when I came home, it had gone. I asked my significant other as he was home, and apparently a tow truck came and took it away. I'm still not sure which neighbor called the tow truck, but I have a suspicion it's the one she was arguing with. Significant other said she's been quiet all day, only the odd footsteps. I wouldn't trust that quiet. She's brewing in there. Before we continue exposing this unhinged human behavior, I want to talk about something that's actually good for humanity. Shocking, I know. Let me introduce you to my current personality trait.
The Bombas Gripper Slipper.
Okay,
I
need to
own
take my
an
hoodie off. I'm
embarrassing
too hot.
number of pairs. First of all, gripper slippers are perfect for gifting yourself. But if someone gave me these, I'd be like, wow, you really know me. You love me a lot, don't you? They look like a sock, but they've got a little grip on the bottom. And you can throw them in the wash with the rest of your socks. No high maintenance energy here. We love a low effort queen. But here's where it gets wholesome. Bombas makes the #1, #2, and #3 most requested items in homeless shelters. Socks, underwear, and t-shirts. And Bombas donates them with every purchase. Yes, actual good karma. Bombas has a 1 purchase, 1 donated policy. And they've donated over 150 million
Hey,
items to date.
Oh, affirmations.
Cheer
And
one.
happiness
Aye.
guaranteed.
Arsenic
So if you want
gummy
cozy
bear
feet
cheered
and
2
to be a good
bits.
person,
Alright. Pink, gray, or... Wait, pink, gray, or black? Oop. black. Alright? Burn, burn, burn. I'm gonna make you burn, burn, burn. Whatever. Alright. Says, listen, bitch. You are worthy of everything good in this life. Everything. Everything. Worthy of everything good. Fuck yeah, bitch. Beep. Beep. Love you. I also owe Javi an affirmation when she ever comes back.
Things we love. New
Because I
customers
couldn't
get
give
20%
her a
off their
refund
first
on her
purchase.
points.
And I do have a
because
code
I
for
was
y'all.
mobile.
Go to bombas.com/CharlotteDobre, all caps, and use code CharlotteDobre at checkout. Post number 3. Entitled neighbor won't let anyone use the clothesline.
You gotta be kidding me.
Well, I'm back. As many of you predicted, her entitlement grew. Oh man, anybody else see that like Netflix series about that crazy neighbor that was like pissed off that like kids were playing near her house and making noise, and then like eventually things escalated? I'll just say that. I'm so afraid of these like disputes now.
Stupid
Because
sexy
it's like, what if you
Flanders.
get
Good
someone
night,
like that next to you?
TNL.
Like, what
Kisses.
happens if you have a neighbor like that? People are just so miserable, and there's not a lot you can do either, because if she owns the unit, it's kind of just like, it is what it is until something bad happens, which is very unfortunate. It's been raining all week, and as I don't have a dryer, I haven't been able to do any big items like only clothes, as I can hang them up inside. On Saturday, it was finally sunny, and I raced home from work, dragged my significant other out of bed so I could wash all the blankets and dry them in case it rained again. I managed to get through 5 loads of sheets, blankets, towels, and I hung them all out on the outside line. We all share it. There's technically 2 different lines for us to use, and we have never had an issue before. I hung out my last load and went inside to chill. I went back out an hour later to get the first load and found every single item I had hung out on the ground. Nothing had replaced it. All of it was just torn down, and my pegs and peg basket were gone. Most of what I'd hung out was still wet and now covered in dirt. When I tell you this would be my 13th reason. No, it's not my 13th reason. It's literally just like the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like, so disrespectful. If you wanted to go and hang something, I'm sure that you guys could have talked it out. Lady, why did you just tear it down? I got my significant other, and he helped me bring everything inside before I went upstairs and knocked on her door. When she answered, I asked if she had taken my washing off the line, and she smugly informed me that she had not given my permission, or she had not given me permission to use her line, and that next time I should be polite and ask, and she might let me. Why are we thinking we own the common spaces and facilities? Look, I'm gonna level with you guys. I work in retail and I deal with nightmare customers. I know how to be calm around these kinds of people, and I tried to be polite about this whole thing with the leather and the car, but my bed is my safe space and I wanted it clean, and she with that just to be petty. I calmly told her that everyone can use the line. It's part of the building and nobody has to ask her permission. She tried to talk over me, but I held my hand up and told her I was part of the strata committee. I know all the rules and who owns what, and she needs to pull her head out of her ass, grow up, and stop her behavior because it's not doing her any favors. I told her to have a nice day before she slammed the door. Something tells me this isn't over yet. Post number 4. Entitled neighbor throws a party. I find it odd that she like has friends to invite to this party.
I am too surprised.
Don't make me drink alone.
This just happened last night, and I'm a bit tired, so sorry for any spelling mistakes. You are forgiven. Our neighbor has been quiet for a while, and my significant other thought maybe she had finally realized she couldn't control the whole building. One of her cars was parked in her spot, and the other was parked on the street behind my significant other's car. Nobody washing had been ripped off the line, no new notes were stuck to doors. Until yesterday. As we are the bottom unit, apartment, we have the side door that opens onto the shared yard. I think the only time I use that door is to air the place out, or as a shortcut to hanging washing. Sorry. Anyway, yesterday we were going about our day when we saw entitled neighbor and a few other people setting up tables and chairs in the yard. No big deal, it's a shared space. A few minutes later, there's a knock on the side door and it's her. Significant other opened the door. It's a glass sliding door so she could have seen us. We couldn't pretend we weren't there and did the usual greetings. She told us she was having a party and we needed to move our wooden planters off our patio because she needed the space for her barbecue. I feel like she was like talking about everybody and saying, oh my god, my neighbors are so terrible. They're making life so hard. You know what we should do? We should throw a party to piss them off. No. Firstly, the patio is our space, not a shared space. Oh, okay, so the patio outside your place is your space, not a shared space. The yard is shared. Got it. Secondly, they sit right next to the glass door, so I don't want some random looking into my living room all night while they are cooking. Oh, weird. So she wants to like have you move your stuff off your patio so she can put your barbecue there? Absolutely not. Significant other reminded her that she doesn't own the building and we wouldn't be moving when one of her friends asked what the hell was she doing. They'd already set up the barbecue in the yard. Oh, so her friends don't know. Got it. She huffed and walked off without saying anything, and we thought that was it. It was not. A few hours go by, and we end up closing the curtains for privacy. Whoever designed this building didn't really keep privacy in mind for a detail, but anyway. We can hear talking, laughing, and cooking, the usual sounds of a backyard party, and there's another knock on the door. I was cooking dinner, so my significant other answered it again. This time, it was one of her friends saying she had to use the bathroom. An entitled neighbor told her to just knock on our door instead of walking upstairs.
Bruh.
What? Significant other politely told her sorry, but she couldn't use our bathroom, and she apologized for knocking and intruding. That is very bold of entitled neighbor to assume that after treating you guys so terribly, she could literally let her guests use your bathroom? Not even 2 minutes later, there's banging on the door, and by now my significant other is pissed. He opened the door and entitled neighbor started to lay into him about how dare he expect her guests to go all the way upstairs, and he needed to apologize to her and keep the door open for her guests. What the fuck? Now, my significant other is usually a very calm guy, very easy to talk to and rational, but in that moment, he lost his... He told her to fuck off and stop bothering us, to get her head out of her ass, and she can't lay claim to everything she sees. Our bathroom wasn't hers to use. Sorry for kidding me. Her guests could use her bathroom, and if she knocked on our door again, he would call the police for harassment. At this point, one of her friends came over and told entitled neighbor she needed to leave us alone and stop bugging us before apologizing and telling us to have a good night. Wow, so even her friends are apologizing for her. We expected the party to be loud and go on all night, but it actually wrapped up early, about 1 a.m. I think. I mean, that's not that early, but anyway. That's nice that you, like, weren't a pain about it, you know? Like, you kind of, like, let her do her thing, even though it was bothering you to some extent. Because it's like, you know, it is a shared space. People are allowed to have guests over. I just genuinely feel like you are going above and beyond to like keep the peace, because you could have made that an issue. You could have called the police at like 11, had a noise complaint or whatever, but you didn't. This morning when I got up, everything had been cleaned up from the yard, but our planters had been knocked over. Oh, sweet Jesus. Joke's on her, we hadn't planted anything in them yet, and most of the soil in there was used cat litter. I use potting mix as cat litter because it's cheaper, so now she can smell my cat's old turds. Ew. Oh my goodness. Okay. We do have a part 2, guys. That was just part 1. Post 5. She really wanted to pet my cat. Did the cat scratch her? I hope so. Well, I'm back. I thought maybe my neighbor had settled down and I was done with her behavior. I do hear her fighting with the upstairs neighbor now and then, but that's about it. This happened this afternoon and I'm still trying to figure out how her brain works. I just don't understand people that are so disagreeable like this. Like, doesn't it bother you to like always be in fights with people? Like, how does your brain work like this, that you think that like this is like your territory or whatever? I just don't get it. Like, I just genuinely believe that a good neighborhood, everybody helps each other out. Everybody, you know, kind of asks permission to have parties, you know, shovel each other's driveways. They like look after each other's packages and like, why would you choose the alternative and make everyone's life difficult, including your own? It literally makes 0 sense to me. Just people very unhappy, must be very unhappy. So in my previous post, I explained how my neighbor thinks she owns the building our apartment is in. Newsflash, she doesn't, and implemented some crazy rules, none of which were legal. It took a few arguments, but I thought she finally understood she didn't own everything. But I was wrong. So as I'm on the ground floor, I have a glass sliding door that opens out onto the shared yard. Not happy about this, but we mainly treat it like a window anyway. Being that it was a nice cool day, I had the door open, but the screen door shut and locked so I could air the house out after having rained, and the house was smelling musty. Whenever that door is open, my cats will sit at it and watch the birds outside. I was pretty tired, and my significant other suggested we both lay down and have a nap while I wait for the washing machine to finish. Thought, sure, why not? It's quiet today, and we went and laid down. We were woken up about an hour later to a rattling noise in the lounge room, and I thought maybe one of the cats had tried to climb the screen door again. So I got up to scold them and found my entitled neighbor trying to open my screen door. Is she okay? Are we dealing
What
with someone with
the-
problems?
Oh my goodness.
Like, I don't think she's all there.
I
Because
think-
what the fuck are you doing?
I think she
like
needs Jesus.
really pulling on it to the point where the whole door was shaking. I asked her what she was doing, and she told me she'd seen my cats through the door while on her way to hang clothes out and wanted to pet them, but the door was stuck.
That's called locked.
I told her it wasn't stuck. It was locked. Because this is a private residence and she can't just walk in here whenever she pleased. She kept trying to open the door while yelling, I can't keep my cats from people if they want to pet them and it's her right to show them real love. I repeated that this was my home and she couldn't walk in whenever she wanted. This really seemed to piss her off and she started to yell at me that I was a little B-word. I was my animals and how dare I speak to her like that. I feel like she's earned that sort of talk. At this point, I was pretty sick of being yelled at in my own home, so I mustered up the sweetest smile I could before politely telling her to f off. Like this. F off. If looks could kill, my cats would be eating my body right now. She tried to open the door again when my significant other came out and said he would call the police if she didn't stop. She finally let go of the door, glared at us, and stormed off. Like, literally attempted breaking and entering. Like, are you actually kidding me right now? That's police. That's like, je téléphone à la police right now. Needless to say, we are ordering another camera for the door, and yes, my cats are microchipped. I'm actually surprised. So you're ordering another camera. I would have ordered it much sooner, honestly. I would be gathering evidence literally immediately.
I would be posting
ETA,
it.
I thought I might add this as it's been in a few comments. My phone was charging in my bedroom and I didn't take it out with me when I got up. Where I live, the police aren't very helpful unless it's actually happening, but I didn't want to turn my back on crazy. My significant other only got out of bed when he heard shouting because he thought I was talking to the cats. We have an image. These are the cats. We have paid the cat tax. Here are the cats. For reference, very important. I love these cats. To be fair, I would also want to pet those cats. I'm kidding. I would do it with permission. Post number 6. It's been too quiet.
Quiet.
It's been quiet for a
Too
few
quiet.
weeks. I normally hear her arguing with another neighbor all the time, but lately nothing. Last week, I bought a new car, yay, and it's slightly bigger than my old car, so I'm not confident enough to park it in my spot, so I've been parking on the street. The other day, I got home from work, and I saw a young man standing on her balcony. He was quite friendly, called out hello to me, and introduced himself as her nephew and explained why he was there. She broke her foot. Apparently, at the last family dinner, she tripped over a dog and broke her foot and is now staying with family because she can't get up and down the stairs. He said he was house sitting because she said she didn't trust her neighbors, but he admitted we are all really nice and quiet and maybe she's just crazy. It took all my strength not to sing and dance right there. Post number 7. Entitled neighbor is back and wants me to isolate elsewhere. Well, she's back. Hoping she just wouldn't come back after she broke her foot, but last week we heard a door slam from upstairs. We looked outside and yep, her car's there. No idea if her nephew who was house sitting is still there or not. Anyways, a few days ago I tested positive for the much whispered pathogen and have been doing the right thing and staying inside and quietly. I'm fully vaccinated, so it's not that bad, though I could live without the headaches. My partner was away all day Saturday because he was picking up his new car and he got home late Saturday afternoon, parking his new car on the back lawn so he could give it a quick hose down from the drive. I was inside watching through the sliding door when I heard her balcony open and she started yelling at him to get off her lawn. He told her to shove it. It's not her lawn and he's done when he's done. And she could please stop yelling because I have COVID and it doesn't help the migraines. Well, that was a mistake. Oh God. I heard her storming down the stairs and she starts banging on our door screaming that I'm diseased and I need to isolate somewhere else before she gets sick. And if I don't leave, she was going to call the police. What are they supposed to do, Karen? That is what you're supposed to do when you get sick with that stuff. You're supposed to isolate in your own home. not elsewhere, not spreading it around. I told her through the main door that she's been told repeatedly she can't kick us out of our own place that we own. I'm staying inside and she could call the police if she wanted, but she would more than likely be fined for wasting their time. According to my significant other, who was coming in after moving his car, she looked right down murderous, but once she saw him, she took off up the stairs. God, it must be nice to have like a significant other that's scary. Haven't heard anything from her since or anything from the police, so we think it was an empty threat. I was so tempted to open the door because, like they say, sharing is caring. It's interesting that she chose to, like, she was so afraid of getting sick that she came right to your door.
I changed my mind. I don't want to
Like
do
I said at
DP.
the beginning of this
I'm
video,
gonna play
in a
video
situation like
games.
this, you can't just get someone evicted, right? You can make their life difficult. You can call the police on them and stuff, and then eventually maybe they'll sell, hopefully, and then there's someone else's problem. But unfortunately, because she owns her unit, OP can't do anything. And she updated in the comments. I wanted to add, I've had a few comments. We can't get her evicted. She owns her unit just like we do. Lawyers in Australia are very expensive just to talk to. Like when we bought our unit, the lawyers handling the sale charged us for everything. They stuffed up the paperwork by misspelling my name and then charged us more to reissue papers with the correct name. Ugh. As far as I know, my upstairs neighbor spoke to his lawyer about her, but they can't do much anyway. Feel like this might be the last post on this matter. I'm back. Did you miss me? I did. I did. I won't lie, I was hoping I would never have to post again and she would just become a normal neighbor. I was wrong. She was so quiet for so long and her car was barely there and I was starting to think maybe she moved out, but I got a nice reminder last week that she's still around. To start the story, I must give a brief background. There are 8 units total in this building. I'm on the ground floor with a very nice old lady across the hallway, and I have an unspoken rule that if one of us is home and the other isn't, we sign for and accept packages so they aren't just left in the hallway. I had been expecting a package and I had a feeling it was going to show up while I was at work, but I wasn't worried because of my nice old neighbor. Drop it off when I got home. No drama, right? Wrong. My nice old neighbor actually had gone away for a few days. So with nobody around, my package was left next to my door. But it wasn't there when I got home. Oh yes, dear reader, she had it. About 10 minutes after I got home, I heard the familiar stomping on the stairs and banging on my door. Long story short, my package had been delivered and she wanted to do the nice thing and hold on to it until I came home. But apparently it had accidentally ripped
I know I
and
need
she
to
saw
turn
what
it
was
down.
inside. Trying to do the nice thing. I won't lie, it was a nice little toy. I like to treat myself, sue me. You treat me, babe. The moment I opened my door, she threw my package at me, yelling how I was a disgusting pervert and I should move out before it spreads. Oh my god. I would like to point out that I feel like you finally got her here because no, you can't evict her, but the minute she commits a crime,
Long
I
ago,
told her opening someone else's mail
there was a
is
powerful
not
weapon,
a crime.
a prism that could create entire armies of light. It was really bad news. But then, one day, the prism was lost, never ever to be found again.
Whoa, that was loud.
Time to buy those kinds of things, but thanks for taking care of my package. So sadly, this seems to be perhaps the last of these posts. The Reddit user deleted their account, so I'm not sure exactly what happened, but that might be all we get for now. But if you still have an itch to scratch, we have more entitled neighbors coming right up. Neighbor's dog constantly unleashed and pooping in my yard, and my neighbors don't clean it. Me, myself, and Irene, anyone? Well, the only reasonable response is for you to shit in their yard. Just go over there, take a newspaper, do your business. I've been dealing with very rude and entitled neighbors who constantly let their dogs out of their front door, unleashed, unsupervised, and just let them roam around and poop in their neighbors' yards. Pretty sure that's not allowed. Pretty sure that comes with a nice hefty fine. Actually, depending on where you are, I know it's illegal in Toronto. I've gone to their door several times to ask them politely to pick up after their dogs and prevent them from going into my property unsupervised. The bigger dog has actually gone in my garage and also runs up to my toddler's face. Oh, yeah, no. I've come to learn that, like, dogs have different needs, okay? You really have to like watch dogs like body language when they meet other dogs on the street. If there's kids around in the park, I definitely don't like let my dog off leash. He's a big dog and he goes right up to other dogs. He also goes right up to kids, right up to like adults, anybody. He's very friendly.
Fellas, come here. I just want to talk to you.
But a lot of dogs don't like it when he goes up to them like that and like they try to bite him. And there's a lot of people who don't like dogs. This is like a touchy subject. And like as much as I love dogs and I don't mind when dogs come up to me, not everybody is like that. You really never know. What if this like toddler like doesn't know how to deal with dogs? Like he hits the dog and then like something happens, you know? Like it's very careless. So each time I politely ask them, they're dismissive and rude. This most recent time I asked, the husband started yelling in a rude tone that said, I don't want to deal with this, and repeating over and over, it's just poop. Well, it's not just poop, okay? You know, pee is one thing, poop is another, okay? Nobody wants all over their yard, right? Why do you have to pick up after someone else's pet? That's not fair. This made me realize I could never come to an understanding with these people, so we developed a plan and we went no contact with them. I set up a camera and filmed their dogs over a month going on my property, pooping, not cleaning up their waste, going in my garage, running up to my toddler, all while unsupervised and unleashed. I then reported them to the HOA with all the evidence. The HOA gave them a warning, and this made them extremely angry. And we could hear them screaming in their house after they got a warning, probably yelling insults at us. The husband then went on the neighborhood Facebook page and posted a threatening and racist rant about us. He called us ugly and disgusting for reporting him, and we should move back to where we came from. Yeah, that's not gonna go over well. I forwarded this to the HOA, but they said they could do nothing about the Facebook page because it's not an official page of the HOA. The admin of that neighborhood page did delete his post and then posted the rules to everyone in direct response to his posting. A few days later, I caught the dog on camera again. I forwarded this new video to the HOA, and the president personally went to their door. He spoke to the husband and talked to him about the Facebook post and warned him that if their dogs violate the HOA rules one more time, then animal control will get involved. My HOA told me he was drunk when he posted that on Facebook. So, the husband then posted a half-assed apology on the Facebook neighborhood group saying he was out of character. It wasn't even directed at us. I think he was just trying to save face because he embarrassed himself in front of the entire neighborhood. Not even 30 minutes later, his wife texted my wife the longest, most hostile and manipulative text I've seen in my life. In that text, she had several demands. She demanded we forward all videos that we sent to the HOA, demanded we stop involving the HOA, and wants us to apologize for telling the HOA that her husband posted a racist post on Facebook. Okay, so no apology for posting the racist post. Got it. She also called us the hostile ones, the irony, right? And played the victim, saying we're evil for reporting her to the HOA and trying to take away her dogs. I mean, like, around and find out. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of this could have been avoided if you just, like, put up a fence, man. Stop letting your dogs out to, like, shit in other people's yards. Like, you're literally playing with fire here. People are weird on my block about even, like, letting dogs pee on their yards, okay? As a dog owner, sometimes ain't no stopping it. I'm sorry, but, like, sometimes he gotta go, okay? Ain't nothing I can do about that. Like, you want me to bring a cup with me? Aim it into the cup? He doesn't want that. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna be like, Mom, what are you doing? I want to pee on this bush. I'm not going to pee. I think it's a good thing. But poo is like, yeah, a lady once yelled at me because Murph pooed on some flowers. Anyways, never let him poo on that, you know, lawn again. I avoid that lawn like the plague. But again, it's like, it's her lawn, you know, it is what it is. I can't even imagine. Man, one time I forgot a bag and like I literally walked around looking for other dog owners and like asked them to borrow a bag because like I couldn't bear the thought of just like leaving on someone else's yard. And I went back and picked it up. Like, it's the considerate thing to do, okay? The following night, their husband paced back and forth in front of our house testing our camera. He said to someone off camera, probably his wife, "Yeah, it's on now," referring to our camera. Because of this, I bought 2 more cameras and will be mounting one in the back of my house and one on the side of my house watching my AC unit in case they tried to damage anything. Ugh, brother. All you really gotta do is stop letting your dogs out without a leash and on people's yards. Like, it's really not that hard. They also have a history with many other people in the neighborhood, but I won't get into that because this post is already getting too long. This is super annoying, OP, to anyone dealing with like a neighbor like this. It is just so frustrating, you know? Like, everybody needs to just learn how to play nice in the sandbox. Everyone's saying start throwing dog onto their porch or just, yeah, take a on there. But here's the thing, like, what if they catch you doing that? I mean, around and find out, am I right? Fafo. OP responded, as tempting as that is, I don't want to give them anything they could use against us to play victim. That's a good point. So we do have an update. After I reported my neighbor to the HOA for constantly letting her dogs poop in my yard without picking it up and not leashing them, things technically improved. Oh, good. They're now leashing the dogs and picking up the poop. But now she's doing something even weirder. She's bringing her dogs specifically to my lawn to poop, and she immediately goes back home. She doesn't walk them around the neighborhood or anything. It's like she's deliberately making sure her dogs only go on my grass. It's petty and bizarre. It's not like she's leaving the poop anymore, but it feels intentionally targeted. It could be intentionally targeted, but it also could be like dogs like their spots. You know? Like, I know Murphy has a spot. Okay, because they've been letting them poop all over the place, they've learned that that place is where they poop. They're very intentional with the poop. Could you, you know, pull your dog somewhere else and prevent them from pooping? Like, yeah. It could be her specifically telling them, you know, like putting them into your yard and pooping. Possibly. It also could just be that that's where their dogs have pooped in the past, and so that now that's where they poop, unfortunately. As long as they're picking it up, it kind of is what it is. Sorry. Is there anything I can do about this kind of behavior? It feels like harassment at this point. Has anyone dealt with something similar or found a way to deter this without escalating it too much? I mean, I've seen people put up signs that say, like, don't poop. There's like an elderly lady that lives down the street that like can't bend down, so like she can't pick up poop and she can't like do her own yard work. She has signs that say, like, you know, like a little dog that says no poop or whatever. I've also heard of people doing those like noise makers. I don't know how ethical those are, honestly. I've heard of people using them for like raccoons and stuff and like squirrels. I don't know about dogs. I've heard of like a neighbor, you know, like kind of like letting their dogs just sort of bark like crazy. Like letting their dogs out. There's a fence. They let their dogs out, and I actually think it was a Reddit post. But then the neighbors were getting pissed off because all the dogs do is like bark and bark and bark, and it's super loud. So everyone in the comments of that post ended up suggesting one of those like high frequency noise maker things that you put in the yard that like deters animals. Like the frequency is so high pitched and annoying. Like we can't hear it, but it's so high pitched and annoying that dogs avoid it and like other animals avoid it. Again, I don't know how ethical that is. Some people said automatic sprinklers, motion activated sprinkler, doggy can get a bath while they're pooping. If anyone questions you, you're trying to dilute the dog pee so it doesn't cut the grass. That's a good point. That's probably more ethical than the noise makers. Some people are saying I would sit on my porch and hose the dog down. Some people said edible glitter all over the grass. It sticks to fur beautifully, but then also it's gonna stick to like their kids' feet too, which is annoying. Opie liked the glitter idea. I think it's mostly people saying get the motion activated sprinklers or sit on your porch and spray people at dogs.
Battle.
A neighborhood petty revenge story. Ooh, goody. My kids and I moved house in March. Day 2 in my new house, and I tripped over a broken paver. Didn't break anything, but I still needed surgery, a 3-night hospital stay, and a full leg brace for 2 weeks. While I was in hospital, my partner, formerly ex-partner, now reconciled, it's complicated, Martin, dad, sister, bestie, and her wife had formed an emergency team. They kept my kids and pets safe and fed and finished the unpacking. Dad and Martin did a little garden work, removing the broken paver and laying some old fence posts along the fence where the next door's dog was digging through. Week 1, I hobbled to the letterbox and met next door's landlord, who my partner has nicknamed the Bucket Woman. You don't get a name like that unless it's deserved. She immediately told me to bring my bins in by 9 a.m. because it made the street look messy. She demanded I move the posts because the grass would grow through to her side. I explained the reason for the posts and said that once the holes were filled in, let me know and I would move them. and hello to you too. Week 1, bin day, 9:10 a.m. So bin day, I'm assuming means garbage day. For those of you who aren't from the UK or Australia. The bucket woman banged on my door. I'm still in PJs and a leg brace. Yeah, you literally are not able to move around like a normal person. She complained about the bins. I said my bestie's coming by later to help me dress. I couldn't do feet. I'd bring the bins in later. When Bestie pulled up, she had to park out front because my bins were in the driveway. I checked. The council bylaws don't have a deadline for bringing bins in. Oh, brother. Next, Martin got temporary approval to work from home at my place. I got home and Martin was escorting the bucket woman off the property. The bucket woman thought nobody was home and tried to sneak in to move the posts. Martin said next time he calls the police. A few weeks ago, the police arrived. Martin was at work and said a concerned neighbor called about a man and a woman having a domestic dispute. The man was destroying the fence. The bucket woman is out front, watching. Once they're satisfied I'm okay and there's no damage, I explained about last week and showed them security footage. Later, I see them speaking with the bucket woman. She isn't happy and goes inside. I was working nights and the police visit had taken up a lot of my precious sleeping time. I was fuming. Then the penny dropped. The bucket woman let herself in while the tenants were at work. So I spoke to the tenants and I was blunt. I asked if they were okay with the bucket woman being in the house while they were out and said I'd seen her there at least once a week. In a nutshell, they weren't okay with that. Later, one of the guys came around with a box of Chalkies, thanked me and said they were moving out right away. The bucket woman was furious at me. She says I made her tenants leave and got in trouble with the rental agents too. She told me I made the street look messy and hang underwear on the washing line, so how will she get new tenants? I wouldn't blame your neighbors. I would take a long, hard look at yourself, bucket lady. I wanted so badly to tell her to get off my lawn. Update. I just got off the phone from the council. Someone has complained I removed a protected tree from my property. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. Update 2. Spoke to the council again. The complaint is definitely that tree that was removed. The tree is definitely still there and visible from the street. Council are sending someone to inspect the tree. Martin and I will be there armed with reports and photographs. I did my bit for democracy and the nice neighbors from the other side of the street were in the queue to vote ahead of me. They took their own photos of the storm damage to the tree and oh my god, it was way scarier from their side of the fence. I've added the photos to the file. Next door, don't have any problems with the bucket woman trespassing, but he's retired and she works from home. Bloke hates her guts and is happy to keep an eye on our backyard when we're out. Next post. The bucket woman versus my very dangerous dog. Yes? First thing we did was add more security cameras. So now most of the property is covered. And we're shocked to see how often she was coming onto our property and looking through our windows. What the f? That's so creepy. Ugh. I felt sick to my stomach. The reason she knows what's on my washing line is because she's coming into our yard and checking. Oh, weird. Okay, no. Yeah, that's a no from me, dog. Not gonna lie, I had a bad period where I just blamed myself for bringing everyone else in the household into this. We spoke to the kids and they find her annoying but not creepy, if that makes sense. We're checking in regularly with how they're coping. Martin hand-delivered a letter to the bucket woman telling her she's not allowed on our property. Any communication about neighborhood issues should be directed to my solicitor. Card attached to the letter. Ooh. Love a little lawyer getting involved. Since then, Martin has diligently checked the security footage and reported every instance of trespass on the police non-emergency line. A few days later, we had a visit from the police. The bucket woman rang 000 and said I had a dangerous dog, which attacked her. She claimed she was injured getting away from the dog attack. The police checked our house and yard and didn't find a dangerous dog. They did find 2 house cats, a house rabbit, and the disemboweled corpse of a catnip mouse, which was not taken for forensic examination. Damn it. Martin pulled the security footage. I've been asked not to describe it in detail, but I can't decide what was funnier, the footage itself or the sight of the police officer trying to keep a straight face. How do you literally waste taxpayer money and police time like this? Like, it's so annoying. It should be a crime. Actually, I think it is in some places, but like... Also, if you do plan to trespass on your neighbor's property and you startle easily, say at an angry indoor cat, it's always quicker to run through an open gate than a closed one. Hang on a second. So she thought that your cat was a dangerous dog and then she ran through a closed gate? That's very funny. Petty revenge component, I remain a free woman. Little cat is not declared a dangerous dog and gets her favorite tuna treat. Lots of head pats and a new catnip mouse. Martin gleefully adds another report of trespass, and Bucket Woman looks like an idiot. Our next step was to replace the old side gate with something more secure that led to more escalation from her side and more petty revenge on ours. But cutting off her access to the backyard still hasn't stopped the Bucket Woman. We still find her in the front yard looking through our windows, including mine and Martin's bedroom window. Our front yard is a quagmire when it rains, so we regularly find her tracks. Not the tracks. Martin has taken to spite cleaning the garage every time he sees her tracks. The fence posts lying along the shared fence have turned into our hard waste pile. Every time he catches her trespassing, he adds a bit more junk to the pile. It's probably driving her crazy, but there's nothing she can do. People in the comments are kind of like, so I'm sorry, she's literally trespassing on your property and you can't do anything about it. People in the comments are pointing out that she's in Australia, so there's like nothing they can do, I guess. Didn't realize that. If anyone in Australia can vouch for that, I would just get like the heebie-jeebies.
I keep forgetting to push the button because I'm watching
stuff. Seeing on a camera
stuff.
that like people were like coming up to my windows and like looking in my house. Absolutely not. Ugh. My upstairs neighbor has completely ruined my $2,500 per month apartment. My girlfriend and I were doing long distance for 2 years. Last fall, we finally closed the gap, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to afford a luxury apartment in our area. We were the first people to move into this brand new unit and couldn't have been more excited. The very first night we moved in, we heard extremely loud noises from our upstairs neighbor. Since we had moved in that morning, I assumed he was doing the same. But the noise over time continued. Extremely loud stomping, what sounded like furniture constantly being moved, jumping, things that were literally making my walls shake. And these often occur during quiet hours. After our first noise complaint did absolutely nothing, in fact it made it so much worse, I decided to knock on his door and politely ask him to refrain from making such intense noise. His kids, roughly 10 years old, were literally jumping off their kitchen chairs onto the floor, my ceiling. He was extremely defiant, and by the time I got back home, the noise was even worse. Oh my God. It reminds me of that episode of Friends where like they were upstairs and downstairs the neighbor was like using the broomstick to like poke upstairs, tell them to shut up. And then they all started stomping. And then I'm pretty sure he fell off a chair and died. Anyways, I'm fully convinced each time we reported the noise, he retaliates by purposely making even louder noises. Can confirm that's probably what he did. It really feels like he instructs them to jump and stomp loudly after we report him. He and his kids are now incapable of walking without stomping as loud as they possibly can. They slam doors and sprint around their apartment like a track meet. Oh God. See, and this is the type of thing that like you don't even really like know about until you move in. I strongly recommend to anybody who's like moving into a new place, come back at like a different time of the day. You know, everybody usually goes like during the day to see a place, but I would come back like at night because everyone's at work during the day, right? So if you come back at night, you kind of hear about everything, right? You really get a sense for like the noises of the building, how thin the walls are, et cetera, et cetera. And it sounds like you also live in a quiet building too. I lived in one of those ones as well. And like, I wasn't even playing music during like late nights. Like there was a neighbor that lived beside me that worked late night. So he slept during the day and I wasn't allowed to play music loudly during the day at all. And I guess these were the rules of the building. Didn't find that out until I moved in. So yeah, safe to say I only lasted 2 years there. I do love my dubstep. This has had a significant effect on my relationship and my mental health. I despise actually being in my apartment, and the stress of non-stop thunderous stomping has led to more minor arguments with my partner. We've documented this issue endlessly, but each time he retaliates and it becomes even worse. After endless reports, our property manager said he may allow us to move units. Unfortunately, it would have to be on the same floor plan, meaning I would have to continue to pay the same rent. I'm currently on the second to top floor. While moving all the way down to the second floor and swapping a view of our pool For a view of a busy road, brutal. Just overall a crappy situation. I've lived in apartments for over a decade and never experienced anything like this. Lesson has been learned. I will never be renting an apartment again. A lot of people in Toronto live in these like semi-detached homes. It's like a home that shares a wall, right? So like one person lives on one end of the wall and the other person lives on the other side of the wall. I literally have a friend who, she's in a situation where her neighbors just complain to her nonstop, and she owns this house. They complain to her nonstop. Like, I remember we were in her backyard, like having some wine, giggling and stuff like that. It was about 11 p.m. and they like started yelling at us out their window, and it was like a Friday or a Saturday night. And of course, you know, we went inside after that, but apparently this has been like ongoing, right? It kind of really is the luck of the draw, you know? You don't get to choose who you live next to. But good news though, apparently her neighbors are moving out and they sold their house, so good for her. So we do have an update. So they ended up staying in the unit despite, you know, like the landlord, the building owner or whatever saying that, you know, you could move to a different unit, but you have to pay the same amount of rent, which is bullshit. Anyways, this weekend, my partner and I had our 2-year-old at his grandmother's. We finally had some time to spend with just one another, and around 10 p.m. Friday, our upstairs neighbor got home and began stomping extremely loud. This completely deflated our mood. On Saturday morning, we were awoken with the loudest stomping and slamming yet, starting at 8 a.m. This noise literally went on non-stop until 11 p.m. last night. This isn't just someone walking loudly. You have to literally go out of your way to be this loud and destructive. We can literally hear the ground cracking and our walls shaking. Today, it was the same thing. This sounds like very strenuous, you know? Like, this person's really gotta be, like, stomping around non-stop, doing jumping jacks or something. Today, it was the same thing, with the addition of a thunderous sound that can only equate to picking up a fully packed luggage and dropping it above your head onto our ceiling. This is exactly what it sounded like every 20 minutes or so. Now, my partner did a much better job at handling this mess than I did when it began. But we are stressed, sleep deprived, and yesterday her friend came over and was exposed to how bad the noises are. When she was awoken early today by the noises, she was not having it. After a few hours, she snapped. She grabbed the broom, smashed our ceiling back, and yelled, "Shut the f*** up with the noise." Somehow, this worked. The noise completely stopped and has been quiet for hours now. I'm sure it will return, probably even worse shortly, but good for her. We're done sitting back and letting this person ruin our lives. Today, she sent an email to our manager saying we need to be let out of our lease immediately, citing the noise and having us wear headphones to sleep. She's only 110 pounds, but the issue has her like a rabid dog, and I love it. I will update when we hear back from management about breaking our lease. Part of me is just wondering if they really know like how loud they're being. Like obviously they're getting noise complaints, but it's like when you live in like an apartment building, you can never actually tell how thin the walls are, how your stuff is affecting other people. And I'll never forget it. This one time I lived in an apartment and I was like just playing some music, watching some TV or whatever. I never heard a complaint about anything. It was a very small apartment, lived there for like a year. And I was watching TV and, you know, I increased the volume a little bit. And my next door neighbor responded by increasing the volume of their TV. Very, very, very loud so that I could hear it.
Oop, forgot to hit the button.
And I was like, oh, damn. Oh, yeah, I can really, I didn't even, okay. Immediately turned the volume down. And then they turned their volume down. And I never dealt with that again. I guess we've learned a very valuable lesson from this video. You can't choose your neighbors, unfortunately. Subscribe!
Ah! Oh, butters. Oh shit, hang on. I gotta go to the, there was something else I wanted to watch. I don't know what this is, but we're gonna watch it.
Please look into this company. They're trying to normalize PDFs. They need to be investigated. And attached to that message was a link to a petition with over 30,000 signatures calling for the company Frida Baby to be held accountable for what critics say is the sexualization of babies in their marketing. And once we saw it, we started digging. It's a case that's been described as vile and horrific, and the brand behind baby and toddler products, Frida Baby, has come under fire, being accused of crossing boundaries on purpose.
What you are seeing about Frida Baby is 100% real.
Kids should be protected, period.
Frida Baby eventually responded, but it only made things worse, and their products are only the beginning. We and the rest of the internet have scoured through Frida's digital footprint, and trust us when we say it gets a whole lot worse.
I just went down the Frida Baby rabbit hole, and as
Never
a mom
heard of it.
creator, I just feel like I need to come on here and let y'all know that I will never ever purchase another product from them again.
And this controversy is exploding at a moment when people are already questioning how often children's boundaries are being crossed.
I don't know
With
what
the
Frida
release
Baby
of
is.
certain files, people are starting to look at brands very differently.
I am so tired of everyone being so weird. It's exhausting. Everywhere you turn, there's another predator.
Suddenly, the Frida situation hits a lot harder. Let's begin with the social media posts that started it all. On February 12th, a post went viral on X with nearly 5 million views, calling Frida Baby appalling and disgusting for using sexual jokes to market baby products. Attached were images of the Frida Baby thermometer with text on the side of the packaging that read, "How about a quickie?" Sure, it could be about the quick temperature reading. However, their TikTok post would prove their quotes weren't so innocent, showing the thermometer next to an illustration of a baby's bottom and a description that read, "This is the closest your husband's gonna get to a threesome." Frida was likely referring to rectal temp, which is still used today because it gives the most accurate reading,
Ew.
something that's very important for young infants under 3
Bleh.
months, as fever
What the
thresholds can
fuck?
trigger same-day medical emergencies. But was this any grounds for making threesome jokes involving an infant?
We make baby products. Let's make the ads. Frida, you missed the mark with this ad campaign. Disgusting.
The viral post also included 2 other products with questionable marketing. The 3-in-1 humidifier, diffuser, and
Suitcase
nightlight
Sam.
with text
Isn't
on the
that
package that
Suitcase
read,
Sam?
"I get turned on easily," and the nasal aspirator with packaging text that read, "I'm a power sucker." With such unconventional marketing on baby products, many
Oh, there he
people
is.
thought this was rage bait or fake news. But after several others found the products in store, it became clear that this was no joke.
I thought, surely not. Like, no way. How about a quickie? I didn't think it was real.
So I guess the internet was right. Like, why does this need to be on baby stuff?
And that post about the threesome? While this post is nowhere to be found on their Facebook, a quick Google search of the keywords reveals the video was posted back in November 2020, and clicking on the link brings you to a now deleted Facebook page. In other words, this was a real post Frida made and covered up. From there, the news spread like wildfire on social media, and both parents and internet sleuths began digging for more evidence of Frida's disturbing marketing.
Oh, black the tree. I like that. Cool.
You see, Frida's old packaging didn't always have these types of quotes and illustrations on them. TikToker and mother, Reese, showed proof dating back to 2015, just 1 year after Frida started their company.
Don't ask why I found this in my bathroom drawer, but I'm gonna go clean that out today. See, the fuss stops here. See, nothing sexual. What's the fuss? And this is the bottom. It just talks about Sweden. And then here's the back of the packaging.
Somewhere along the way, Frida's team made the switch to include adult humor on their products' packaging
Why?
and in their social media posts.
Literally, why?
Here's every questionable item that was still on shelves or recently bought. A gas passer that had an illustration of a baby's legs in the air and text that read, "Tap that gas." A 3-in-1 picker with text on the back that read, "Proud gold digger." A vapor rub had text on the back of the product that read, "Here's the rub down." But the physical packaging barely scratches the surface of their disturbing humor. Frida's social media was another issue, one so bad that they have deleted all of the posts we're about to show you. Just take a look at this Instagram post for their electric version of the nose picker, where they spoke directly to moms, claiming it gives mama more pleasure than any other battery-powered device. To clarify,
what?
this nose picker is meant to be used on babies and children. They talk about the same product in an X post 8 years ago, but this time explicitly mentioning mom's vibrator toy. Or take a look at this TikTok post for their 3-in-1 humidifier, diffuser, and nightlight, which had several innuendos about a man's package and function. Again,
Why?
on a baby product. Size matters. We've got that big mist energy. We've been making it rain in nurseries for like ever.
These are, once again, these are baby products, y'all.
There's more. Take a look at this Instagram post for the gas passer, which showed a photo of a soiled diaper paired with a description that read, "Tap that /gas. Slide into our DMs with success photos. Blur not necessary." Yes, they were asking for more photos like these. Think that's stepping over the line? This Instagram post for their snot sucker is even worse. It showed a baby with white snot stretched across their face, which would have been innocent on its own. But when paired with their caption, "What happened when you pull out too early?" people believed the snot was supposed to imitate an adult's bodily fluids, deeply inappropriate when a baby is involved. Frida also had another post with the text, "Pull out game."
The entire fuck.
Parents who may or may not pull their weight in snot-sucking duties. There's one in every fam. And remember Frida's post about a threesome earlier? Turns out that's another running joke. In a different post, they gave a definition for threesome, which reads, "when your toddler invades the bed." If that wasn't disturbing enough, Frida's X account also pushed boundaries in response to Netflix's question, what's something you can say during intimacy, but also when you manage a brand Twitter account? Frida wrote, "Put the red tip in your mouth and suck." For context, the product does have a red tip that goes into the adult's mouth, while the other end still goes into the infant's nose. But now, with this post in mind, their marketing suddenly feels wrong because it invites adults to read meaning into a product they use on a baby. Frida's Facebook page also contained unusual imagery, like this photo showing a mom, likely on the toilet, and a child squeezed between her legs, paired with the caption, "Yes, sweetie. Sometimes I wish I could put you back up in there too." Now here's something our team noticed while scrolling through Frida's TikTok, a large volume of rectal insertion videos on a realistic doll. We counted at least 28 videos involving their gas passer and thermometer. And what stood out wasn't that they showed how to use the products. Education is normal.
Wait, what
it
was?
was the format. Repetitive, close-up, attention-grabbing shots that feel designed for engagement more than for an instructional video for parents. We get that Frida has to show where the device goes, but given how realistic the doll is, there are better ways. For example, a side view with a verbal explanation can be just as educational without turning the most private area into a TikTok spectacle. In fact, Frida already has a better way to educate their audience. We noticed their YouTube demos get the same information across in a less sensational way, using non-detailed animated graphics.
Lubricate the Wendy so it's, well, comfortable. Lift your baby's legs toward their head and carefully insert the Wendy. Within a couple of seconds, the magic of the Wendy will blow you away.
But on TikTok, the highest viewed videos weren't the calm demos. Just take a look at their top 3 videos, all involving the gas passer. This one shows an extreme close-up with the device inserted in the doll with nearly 23 million views. The next one shows a close-up of the doll's legs lifted with the device inserted, titled Mustard, then the actual video showing the doll ejecting mustard, with nearly 7 million views. And the third one shows the gas passer being inserted again, but this time titled with something controversial. Never thought I'd be sticking this up my baby's butt. This one reached over 2 million views. They even jumped on the take the edge off TikTok trend, where people jokingly share harmless ways they de-stress instead of smoking. But Frida used the trend to stage a gas passer demo on a baby doll. The thumbnail, once again, a close-up shot, which for many who don't know it's a baby product, will just see inappropriate content. Here's another strange thing. The demos gradually shift to using food and objects instead of the doll. So, if nothing about the earlier approach was wrong, why change it? Well, it turns out many viewers have voiced their concern with the environment Frida's TikToks create. You have PDFs writing cuteness overload, WTF, all because you want to sell your products. I bet this commercial wouldn't be allowed on TV. And these sort of comments can be found under some videos of the gas passer, comments that are too disturbing to read. With the backlash going viral,
Oh yeah, I can't.
people
I
began
need,
advocating for the
Garnet
youth.
for that one.
I am disgusted. Disgusted.
Why are we using a rectal thermometer for babies? Before anyone says I'm overreacting, when it comes to kids, things should be innocent and appropriate.
Yes, it is that deep. Because what is funny about making a simple joke or implying some sort of simple innuendo on a product meant to help children get better? Where is the joke in that? Someone please fill me in.
It is just so wild how normalized it has become to the point where this is being put on the shelves. Kids should be protected, period.
Citizens are also taking matters into their own hands. Reagan Montanez, a first-time mom, started a Change.org petition to pressure regulators, including FTC, to investigate Frida's marketing for using adult innuendos around babies and toddlers and hold them accountable. So far, over 29,000 people have signed the petition.
Shit.
Frida's marketing isn't the only questionable thing about the brand. There's something else that's concerning. But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's see how Frida responded. Yes, Frida was erasing their digital footprint. Aside from their controversial posts now vanishing, Frida was also covering their tracks on their website. Their Meet the Team page now turns up as an error, but archives show at least 160 employees.
Oh,
People
I forgot
drew
to hit the
special
button!
attention to the packaging team and marketing team for approving such controversial concepts, calling them sick and twisted. TikToker and mother Grace Pennington also claimed Frida wiped their website's product page of any dark humor.
But I went to their website because I was like, how did I miss this? And I was looking through their website. A ton of inappropriate marketing.
No, no, Steven's dead!
And
no, Steven! Don't die!
3 hours ago is gone. Like, they took the tub off of their website. They took the thermometer off their website. They took the nasal aspirator off their website. All of the things that had like really inappropriate marketing behind it is now off their website.
Some claimed Frida was deleting comments on Instagram and turning comments off on TikTok, which only caused more upset. Disturbing that they did that rather than a response. Instead, another baby gear brand, Safety First, took this moment to throw some shade and stand out as an alternative. They wrote, "We'll stay in our lane, helping babies," while showing off similar products in a TikTok video. And after a viewer commented, "Yes, no innuendos needed, just happy, healthy babies," the brand threw some more shade at Frida, responding, "It's that simple." The video received thousands of compliments for being a safe space and many mothers voiced that they'd be switching over. But it wouldn't be long before the pressure caught up to Frida. By February 12th and 13th, Frida began clearing the air, first by answering a concerned mother's email with a dismissive tone. Frida has always used humor to talk about stuff no one else wants to. The goal is to make hard or awkward moments feel a little less heavy. That said, humor is personal. What's funny to one parent can feel too much to another. We're never trying to offend. Our products are for babies, but our voice is for grown-ups, buying and using them. Then by repeating those same points in a statement to New York Post, but adding, importantly, our tone is never separate from our product. The humor we use is always grounded in a specific feature, benefit, or innovation, a reflection of the real problem we are solving for families. We will continue to evaluate how we express our voice so that our commitment to families is unmistakable and our tone always meets the moment. While most people weren't happy with Frida's responses, it's giving "I'm sorry you feel this way, but I still think it should be boycott." So selling baby products is for our humor. There were some who didn't think there was a problem to begin with, making comments like these. To me, it's just adult humor aimed at exhausted parents. It's not like your child can read it. Their packaging has always made me laugh, even when I really want to cry from postpartum exhaustion. Some people even flipped the blame on the customers.
Don't take offense to it. The gas spur thingy, tap that gas. When I read that, I don't think about something my child. I honestly think the people who are reading into this, you're the perverts. You are the sick-minded ones. I'm just gonna say it like it is.
But these conflicting views caused outrage online, especially in a time where a lot of high-profile people are being exposed as predators, or as one user put it, the world is desensitizing children and adults to making it seem okay to sexualize children. In case you haven't watched the news lately, it is hurting someone, our children. From Disney to Epstein to little jokes like this, it makes it seem okay to mix baby products and sexual content together. I feel like we live in a world now where kids are programmed to grow up too early, and there are so many creeps out there. It's just not necessary for Frida to do this, and it's gross. And the argument that babies can't read and that the jokes are funny were quickly torn apart. They can't read, so you can do whatever. They can't defend themselves, so you can do whatever, huh? So the image that your husband should have in his head while using a rectal thermometer on his child is that that's the closest he will ever get to a threesome on his child. That's funny. Several survivors of CSA also chimed in explaining, I was SA'd when I was 7, 16, 25. Not funny. I'm tired of this. Not on kids' products. It's like saying it's okay. I was SA'd by my father when I was a child. He used to make these jokes my entire childhood. This is not okay and it's not funny. Furthermore, people made it clear that it's not that adult innuendos are off limits entirely. In fact, many enjoy them on the Frida Mom products. But when it comes to Frida Baby, this was a big no. As backlash continued, Frida appeared to make another response on Instagram nearly 2 weeks later, writing, "This past week reminded us that intention matters, but impact matters more. When we miss the mark, we don't turn away. We listen, we learn, and we evolve. We are actively retiring select legacy assets and refining our tone moving forward to make sure it always meets the moment. We will always be bold enough to tell the truth about what parenting really looks like, but we are also humble enough to know we are growing right alongside you. Parenthood is work in progress. So are we." This only made things worse, and commenters quickly called them out again. Accountability includes naming the mistake and saying sorry. It's okay to flat out use the words "we're sorry" in 2026. It's not a corporate faux pas. You were just patting yourselves for taking in the feedback. Frida even started responding to these callouts with what appeared like an automated response. You're right to have expected better from us. We're working on it. Now let's go beyond what social media is seeing and dig deep into Frida's history. There are 2 categories we'll look into, but let's start with product issues that point to a broader pattern of poor judgment from Frida. Number 1, the Smile Frida Tooth Hugger Toothbrush. In 2019, a customer voiced concern with mold growing inside the head of the openable toothbrush. By 2020, the toothbrush was recalled by the FDA and Health Canada for misuse, causing deterioration and, in rare cases, a fracture exposing a small metal piece inside the brush head. Number 2, the Windy Gas Passer. A pediatrician explained that the Windy is not necessary because babies usually learn to pass gas and poop on their own. Windy just forces it out temporarily and can slow that natural learning process if you rely on it. And UK public health guidance pages also warned the public to speak to healthcare professionals before using the device due to limited evidence supporting effectiveness, and also listed potential concerns including bleeding, pain, infection risk, and masking other conditions. Frida, on the other hand, states, "The Windy cannot harm your baby if used as instructed, but as evidenced by comments like these, where confused customers confidently tell other buyers that the Windy is a multiple-use product, not everyone is using it correctly." Number 3. The 3-in-1 thermometer. In 2023, a mother named Melissa Massey sent out a warning.
This product should absolutely be recalled, and if you own this, please save yourself and your child the stress and throw it away.
She told her story of how it falsely detected a dangerously high fever on her 19-month-old son.
We spent the night in the ER with my 19-month-old son who had a 105-degree fever.
When they arrived at the ER, his test came back as a normal cold. Melissa later confirmed this was a common error with the product.
And I was floored at the amount of reviews of similar stories of families going to the ER and the hospital and doctor's offices because their child was running such a high fever, running tests for no reason other than the fact that this thermometer is faulty and reads multiple degrees off.
Number 4, the Frida Mom Lotion and Body Moisturizer. In 2024, Frida Baby received a 60-day notice with intent to sue. The filing alleged that a Frida Mom lotion and body moisturizer contained diethanolamine, DEA, which is a known carcinogen. The products were found in Marshalls and TJX with no clear California Prop 65 warning on it. And products weren't the only thing Frida had poor judgment with, so were their connections. In 2018, Frida Baby partnered with Chrissy Teigen, a collab that didn't feel accidental. We're talking about the same Chrissy
I'm gonna
who was
get a
caught
lion
tweeting
liquor.
inappropriately about children, such
Oh, I
as
can't.
claiming she
I need
thought
to get a
baby
lion liquor
looked
to
like
wake
an
up
adult
Lion.
actress, saying time to get my PDF on when talking about a child's water park, saying she feels like a PDF in a child's space, feeling attracted to children in revealing clothing,
fuck.
wanting to
Ooh,
watch
what?
kids give birth, discussing
Ew.
essaying a teen, and wanting to send explicit
What the
text
fuck?
to a child. While Chrissy's product,
Isn't
the
this
Frida
the
Mom
chick
Washer,
that was married
designed
to-
for
or
adults,
is married to
people
John
argued
Legend?
The pairing still
And she's
raised a bigger
talking
question.
about being a-
Since Chrissy's comments
Ugh.
about children were public, why was Frida,
Blech.
a family brand, comfortable working with her at all? And finally, one of the more disturbing finds. In 2020, SC Johnson acquired Frida, the parent company of Frida Baby. Why is this disturbing? Well, Kurt Johnson, the heir to SC Johnson, was accused of SAing his teen stepdaughter over a 3-year period, starting when she was 12 years old. Prosecutors later reduced the charges, not because he was cleared, but because they could not get the victim's cooperation and records needed to pursue the original case. He still pleaded guilty in 2014 to reduced charges, including 4th-degree SA, and was sentenced to 4 months in jail. So, Kurt Johnson was formally charged in 2011, 9 years before SC Johnson acquired Frida. Knowing this, why did Frida still move forward with the deal? Partnerships with controversial characters like Chrissy Teigen and Kurt Johnson only fueled more criticism towards Frida. So, as Frida's statements seem to promise change, only time will tell whether they can undo a call-out they fully earned. For now, many people are starting to realize just how much inappropriate content has been normalized around children in media and consumer products. And once they notice it, they can't unsee it, and more importantly, can't ignore it. As one internet user said, we should not get desensitized to anything sexual when it comes to minors and children. While you're here, check out our other video analyzing a pop star's connection to the Epstein files and how he may have been victimized. Another story that left many people rethinking what was overlooked in plain sight.
Doobie doobie doo. I want to watch the Taco Bell one I was listening to, I think. Oh, Costco. Yeah, we're going to watch Costco. We love Costco.
Over the last few
Maybe
months,
it's poisoning us.
similar videos have kept surfacing online.
Walmart is trying to poison us.
Of course it is. It's Walmart.
At first, they're easy to ignore. Just another complaint, another bad experience caught on camera. Until you realize it's not isolated, and it's worse than it looks.
As I pick up the bag, me and the mouse make eye contact. I mean, the mother blinked at me.
Bro, look at y'all produce at the grocery store. Look what's under it.
What we've stumbled upon is a full-blown epidemic. To start, let's begin with what's on full display the second shoppers start navigating through their local supermarket's displays of green, blue, and gray. And unfortunately, no, we're not referring to colors of the produce, but the mold shamelessly growing on top of it.
Y'all gonna kill somebody. This is a fucking lawsuit. Walmart, do better.
That shopper isn't reaching. Science has confirmed. Mold has been linked to severe illness, nerve damage, and even cancer. Here's another scenario. Just take a look at this DoorDasher's experience trying to complete an order at an Aldi in Memphis while facing obstacles like rotten potatoes.
You see that liquid? Yeah, and it stinks to high heaven.
And shelves that look like they'd been ransacked of any quality.
Like I said, I normally would not do this, but this is nasty. This is beyond nasty.
Of course, this isn't the only shopper who's provided the internet with an unsettling glimpse into their errand run. Online, there are thousands of videos from different customers at different stores sharing the same tainted experience in the produce aisle.
Every single bag of limes left has some level of rot. All these bags of oranges right here, and tangerines.
And beyond.
Oh wow, this bread is on sale. Is that blueberry? No wonder it's
No,
a
it's
dollar.
blueberry mold.
Then again, some products look completely harmless when they're lining the shelves. It's only when they are opened, or worse, consumed, that customers are in for a nasty shock.
Every time I buy something from this store, every time, at least one thing that I buy from this store is expired.
This brings us to the second part of our deep dive.
Before we reveal what's really lurking in everyday groceries, here's what our team has been playing between editing sessions. Matchmasters, which is today's sponsor. Matchmasters is a puzzle game where you match 3 or more pieces, but it's competitive. Because you're playing head-to-head with random online players. Or you can challenge your friends.
Wait,
you can earn
Hi,
boosters
Miso.
which give you an advantage. Every match has different puzzles, and each player's strategy is different, so each match always feels exciting. And that's what we love about Matchmasters. It's a great way to sharpen your mind, instead of getting sucked into endless doom scrolling. Matchmasters is also ad-free, so you're not getting interrupted every few seconds. So, come battle against us and see how far you can climb up the leaderboards. Download Matchmasters using the QR code on screen or in the link
Before I go
below.
into the
Our
forest,
code
I want
will
to
get you
smash
an
these rocks that I
exclusive
saw.
daily reward calendar in-game.
Oh, there's one.
Now, back to the store floors, because it gets worse.
Oh,
yes,
smash, smash,
even
smash,
when
smash, smash.
Shoppers carefully curate their carts to be mold-free.
I did see something that had mold. So I'm literally purposely going through all of them.
They can't protect themselves against dangers they can't see.
Why do all of y'all fruit have mold? Why? Why?
This is what happened when TikToker Mary Claire MacLamrock opened one of 5 snack packs she picked out for her daughter at a Walmart and noticed something funky.
I just came into Walmart and I opened this up for Scarlett to eat, and it literally has mold on it.
And given that it wasn't just an issue with one pack,
This is all molded. It's all bad.
or even one product.
And what the is in the gummies? What is that?
By the time the TikToker found a pack that appeared
goat.
uncontaminated, her trust was already broken.
But now I don't even want to give her any of this because it had mold on it. Is this even good for me to serve for her?
While the comment
No.
section was more
not.
scandalized by the language in the video
It's
than
obviously
the mold, this wasn't
poison.
the only customer who'd been duped into adding subpar groceries to their cart. See, customers can be lulled into a false sense of security by
What the
clear
hell?
packaging.
Break,
However,
damn
when
it!
food or air creates
Ayo,
excess
Sunday
moisture in these
beach.
packages, it becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, which can lead to berries with a coat of fur.
We've got moldy
Grow
strawberry.
them. Grow them
and
yourself
cheese
then.
that
Fuck.
doesn't make it to nacho night.
I opened this bag of cheddar cheese and I grabbed a handful.
Do you not
and then
look
I
into
put it
your
in there,
cheese and like
and
roll
would
it
you look
around
at
and
that?
shit before you
Let
buy
me show
it?
y'all this cheese.
I do.
Look at this. That is mold. That's in this bag of cheese.
Boss.
So much for making nachos and having taco salad tonight. Thank you, Walmart.
But it's not just moisture in packages that customers have to look out for.
If you see this, and the package is swollen, it looks like it's about to burst, that means that there is mad bacteria in there.
Yes. While it's possible for nitrogen and carbon dioxide, gases used in meat packaging to prevent spoiling from oxygen to cause swelling, excessive bloating can indicate microbial spoilage from gases produced by bacteria. The end result?
Why
meat
not?
that looks more suited to a petri dish than a dinner dish.
Old fur look like something is growing out of them. Like that is literally fucking disgusting.
I'm literally itching.
But these aren't the only science experiments
I
gone
would be
wrong.
so happy
Shoppers
if
have
people didn't
unknowingly
say
taken home
literally
with
so
them.
often.
Online,
It's
there have been reports of
infuriating.
almond milk that comes with a surprise at the bottom.
Oh, I can't believe I drank that yesterday.
Rice that pushes the boundaries of what grains should look like.
What the
is that? No, wait, look at the packet. No.
Cake pops with a secret center.
That is freaking disgusting. Why are y'all selling this to people?
You can't even trust butter anymore.
Why are we selling moldy food to people?
This is my
Why are we selling moldy, expensive food to our community?
Why indeed? After all, these shoppers aren't buying expired products.
That's so whack. Oh,
It's all
dear.
fuzzy.
Oh, hell no.
At least, not knowingly.
I think it's worth mentioning, I bought that bag on Sunday.
And it's Tuesday.
Yeah, today's Tuesday.
And that brings us to the third part of our deep dive. See, some red flags
No,
in
I
grocery
need a-
stores
a
aren't
lion
invisible.
liquor.
Spotting them just requires inside knowledge or a trained eye. So, next time you're running errands, take a close look and you might see the mold at the back of fridges and freezers or the grime seeping out from under products.
Yummy, yummy.
As you start to notice that isn't mist lining the doors, but mildew, take a closer look and see what could be the potential cause of this mess.
Semen.
Low lines are markings along fridges and freezers that indicate how full they can be stocked to maintain freshness. Passing these lines not only wastes energy, but can lead to airflow blocks, potentially causing warm spots and, as a result, spoilage. This is why not passing the line, not blocking vents, and leaving space between products is essential for cold air circulation.
That's the line. That's the line, guys. It's here for a reason. Load limit.
In fact, even stocking frozen or dairy products can put these items in the temperature danger zone for bacteria growth, which, according to the USDA, can double in as little as 20 minutes.
So every time I walk into a store at nighttime and if I see full pallets of dairy or freezer on the sales floor and there's only one person stocking it, I know that it's probably not very good dairy.
But there is a population
Woo!
that isn't so picky when it comes to rotten food.
We did
Mice.
it! Yeah!
And if
Louis
you've ever looked
Simo,
behind
we
the
did
displays
it!
At your local grocery store, you might know exactly
hang on, I gotta
what we're
wee.
talking about.
And I need
yes,
more juice.
A number of businesses seem to have a little pest problem. And in some cases, it seems these traps aren't doing their job. TikTok user Really Faith Aaliyah was fulfilling an Instacart order at a Walmart in Washington, D.C. when a customer stopped her in the bakery section.
She's literally shaking, and she asked me, "Do you mind telling me if this is what I think it is?"
The TikTok user glanced over at what appeared to be a moldy piece of
watermelon
bread in a
juice?
bag until she
And
took a
some
closer
lemon
look.
juice.
As I
And the
pick up
bathroom was
bag, me and
occupied,
the
so I
mouse
could not go
make eye
pee.
contact. I mean, the blinked at me.
Yes, there was a rodent, a
Watermelon
live
juice.
rodent, in the bread bag.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Did you name it? Are you friends now?
Worst of all, it wasn't until the TikTok user was able to speak to the manager that every product from the bakery section was removed, and not just the products on the bottom shelf.
Like, I need you all to know what is going on with the food, how they are handling your food, how it's being contaminated.
Then, there's what's hidden beneath vibrant displays of fresh produce. A disturbing discovery TikTok user Scooter the Explorer recently exposed at his local Albertsons.
Boy, look at all that black mold. The fan blowing. The moldy water all on you.
As Scooter the Explorer's attempt at dark humor
Rinse down with the mold water.
was interrupted by a coughing fit.
That's horrible.
When my streaming bill hit $180 a month for channels I don't even watch, I didn't get mad.
Yeah,
I
that
friended.
much.
When they locked me into a 2-year contract just to watch basic channels, I didn't get mad. I got friendly.
When I needed an engineering degree just to find my classic shows, I didn't get mad. I got friendly.
Join the millions who got friendly with 50 plus live channels, thousands of on-demand titles, all starting at just $6.99 a month. Start your free trial today at friendlytv.com.
All right, now I gotta put the lemonade back in the fridge.
This bra's support is insane. Just look at its construction.
Innovative custom lift layer to pull up even the heaviest bust. Multiple lifting options. Just hook it to my desired level. Lifts up to 3 inches instantly. Supportive W-shaped structure with 3 times wider underband. Keeping my bust firm and secure without the metal wires. No more jiggling and bouncing. Back and shoulder pain? Gone for good. 6-inch wide stretchy bands that mold perfectly to my body. Smooths all bulges immediately. I look much slimmer putting it on. Ventilated design for maximum airflow. Say goodbye to boob sweat. Exclusive sale, 70% off. 45-day easy returns. Get yours now.
The internet feared the mold had already gotten to him. And according to Scooter, they were right. I'm just trying to bring awareness, and no surprise, I'm sick. This where I've been buying veggies
Bladder
at. Scooter's
empty.
video also provided a potential answer for why the produce at some supermarkets molded so quickly.
It's probably because of the mold in the grocery store.
After all, according to users who'd worked in grocery stores, these areas were supposed to be cleaned routinely, and, unfortunately, stores like Albertsons were allegedly infamous for neglecting such responsibilities. And yes, the internet was angry, but most of all, tired. One user questioned, "I don't know if I'm happy you showed us or sad, 'cause at this point, where are we gonna go?" Another user wrote, "Honestly, I'm exhausted. We have nothing left." But were the claims that America had failed its citizens melodramatic? Or did they hit on an unsettling truth? This brings us to part 4 of our deep dive.
I need a lion liquor.
The state of grocery stores today has turned paying customers into inspectors, not only looking out for their own safety,
It says something right here. I'm gonna do my good deed of the day and throw this in the trash.
but everyone else's.
Well, I just saved that guy from eating these moldy fruit.
Yet despite their best efforts to set
Oh,
up where
shit.
managers
You gotta
have
hit it
fallen
twice,
short,
huh?
I'm gonna let the workers know that all of these are bad and they all literally have mold on them.
Customers can only do so much.
This isn't any better than everything I had the guy remove.
Especially when issues run this deep. We already know that supply issues, weather, and other factors have led grocery stores to raise prices. But is it possible that these companies have implemented other unadvertised cost-saving measures? Online, people have pointed out that short staffing, people buying less, and premature molding related to weather can lead to displays of inedible produce. But according to a TikTok from this grocery store worker, businesses have a way to salvage what they have.
So what we do here at the
Nice!
store is we take the moldy strawberries out, throw them away,
You sold my battleship. Please turn me on, Mr.
and then we
Coffee
resell
with
it.
an
According to the
automatic
TikTok user, this is known as reworking.
Yes!
And if you think this practice is limited to one store, think again. Not only have employees reported similar stories, but some have been caught red-handed. Of course, internet users have pointed out that expecting stores to toss every piece of produce that's been in the vicinity of mold would be wasteful. Yet removing these berries can rob customers of crucial context. See, mold spores are invisible to the naked eye, which means any fruit that was touching mold should be discarded, according to the USDA. And if more than a quarter of a box is contaminated, well, according to experts,
You're probably best off getting rid of all of those berries.
this means if
Oh, yeah, I gotta go
employees
get a
are
lion liquor.
reworking these boxes, customers could unknowingly be eating contaminated produce. But grocery stores might be capable of worse than that. As we mentioned, goods seem to be expiring quicker than ever.
This is a friendly reminder to check your meat before you buy it because Walmart doesn't.
And customers have started to wonder, is this a quality issue?
They're not old. I mean, they're not supposed to be old.
Or something more calculated? One TikTok user theorized that the moisture in packages was added by businesses to increase the weight and, in turn, profits.
They're overloading these things with moisture so they can add weight to them. Basically stealing from the customer instead of just giving us the product. And they go bad.
Others suspect the products these stores are selling aren't fit for human consumption to begin with.
You guys are changing dates.
Yes, speculation has grown that businesses are knowingly deceiving their customers into buying unsafe food.
I am convinced that the grocery stores are selling expired goods
All
and
right,
putting a
we're
different
going to
sell
the
by
full
date on them.
virus.
And if that sounds too sinister to believe, what if we told you this has happened before? 10
Sinister?
years ago, CDC
Sinister, you
Marketplace
say?
did an
It
investigation
seems
where
completely
they
fucking
revealed
believable
stores were
because, you
tampering
know,
with expiry dates.
Of course
this
they were.
included selling
Duh.
baked goods that were weeks past their expiration
Duh.
and scraping moldy fruit
Duh.
off of tarts.
The boss didn't just say it was okay. This is what we were instructed to do.
Other anonymous sources
Duh.
revealed that the moldy parts of vegetables and fruits were cut off, and the rest was used in trays. The problem? Mold has root-like structures that penetrate into food. The bigger problem? These structures are microscopic. And it's not just fruit and vegetable trays that can look deceptively uncontaminated. Even the best before date for meats was extended by soaking brown meat in blood to make it look fresher. Meat that was worse off would also be soaked in blood and then thrown into the meat mixer with redder meat. Voila, ground beef ready for sale.
And people would buy this. Yeah, all the time.
Given that eating expired meat can leave you with a severe case of food poisoning, or worse, cost you your life, the internet questioned whether these practices were still happening. And while a few people who worked at grocery stores denied that it happened at their locations, they couldn't rule out that shady businesses or owners were still cutting these corners.
I know y'all selling expired food too. Families! People are feeding this food to their babies. Gotta be ashamed of y'all.
This brings us to the final part of our deep dive. As dissatisfaction amongst customers grows,
Because I can get a quick refund on it, but like, what the hell? This is a bigger problem than just you giving us a refund.
so has the demand for change.
Walmart needs to do better. Considering that so many people come here and buy groceries, that's absolutely crazy that we're buying stuff with mold on it and it's not even expired.
But is change coming? While the number of non-traditional grocers is growing, and the deteriorating quality at big box supermarkets has called some to make the switch, a recent survey showed 65% of Americans feel they can't shop locally as often as they want due to factors like cost, convenience, and product selection. But just because some people have to stop at major retailers doesn't mean they have to do it blindly.
And I want you all to be safe shoppers. When you are buying anything,
I don't.
I want you to
Get
know
poisoned.
what you are buying, what you are putting into your
Dumbass.
body, and what
You
is
ain't gonna
how it's
read
being
what you got
mishandled.
going
Like,
on,
you
then
deserve
go
to
ahead and
know
get
this
food
stuff.
poisoned.
Increased awareness online has led to increased vigilance among shoppers.
Should have always been vigilant. You just
And
blindly
as an
pick
update that
anything.
showed
You don't pick the
Albertsons
fucking
location with the
expiry
hidden
dates
mold
and
in the
whatnot.
midst of a deep clean
Come on now.
proves You can never underestimate
You ain't
the
gonna
power
read
of
the
a
shit
good
then
public
fucking don't
shaming
complain.
to force businesses into getting their acts together.
That's horrible.
While you're here, check out our video on the influencer the internet is.
No! I refuse. Where's the fucking Taco Bell? There it is.
What the hell are we eating? That's the question we
That's
had
it.
to ask ourselves after
Taco
noticing
Bell while you're
countless viral
drunk.
posts
Duh.
that pull back the curtain on what's really happening in the kitchens of favorite fast food counters.
This is who served me.
We're talking lawsuits,
Popeyes is getting dragged to court.
parasites, and oh my.
Should we leave?
There are so many cases recently that are making us wonder, are fast food restaurants going downhill? Well, we've got 5 of the worst recent fast food horror stories that will have you saying,
I'm not eating.
Our first story takes us to a Taco Bell, where a customer had a front row view of the chain's kitchen, and it's Unsettling standards. Lucky for us, he chose that moment to whip out his phone and hit record. The video, posted in June by TikTok user Young Tropical, captured 2 employees in the back of the store pushing a cardboard box while attempting to clean a kitchen floor that was covered in trash. The conditions were shocking.
Pero.
Plastic bags, seemingly used paper towels, crumbs, and even more mess spilling off of the counter space. The TikTok user captioned the video, "Do better, Taco Bell." Some viewers, however, argued that this was the typical post-rush aftermath. One user even described the mess as mild, but others weren't buying it. I work at Taco Bell, and I promise, no matter how bad the rush is, the kitchen should not look like that. A point Young Tropical echoed in his follow-up video.
Having to wait because it's busy, that's fine. What's never acceptable is how filthy that place was.
Yes, according to the TikTok user, no single rush could justify the mess he saw.
That was dirt from like the whole day. Nastiness from the whole day. And no, I was not ordering, and no, I did not eat the food.
After all, it's standards like that that lead to tacos like these. Yes, our second viral story suggests that your next Taco Bell order might come with an unadvertised protein wriggling between pieces of lettuce and meat. Worms. At least, that's what a Taco Bell customer named Jade claimed she and her
love
fiancé
worms.
found in their soft
They're good
shell
for
tacos,
fishing.
only after scarfing one down.
Are you for real?
On Instagram Threads, the unsatisfied customer wrote, "We're gonna go to an urgent care here soon because we're actually freaking out still. My fiancé feels sick." Later, Jade claimed her fiancé was receiving medication to alleviate her symptoms.
I like how she
adding
keeps
that the
telling
physician
you that it's her
assistant was
fiancé.
horrified at the video. By this point, Jade had already
That's not a
allegedly
fucking
contacted
shout, yo.
the Department of Health, writing on Threads, "I said I wanted to be notified about what happens. So there's a case open now, and it'll get assigned to an investigator, and they'll be getting a surprise inspection at some point." As the horror story became a trending topic, Taco Bell took the least opportune time to send Jade a notification. With so many options, there's a taco for you. Under these circumstances, not so enticing. Eventually, the Department of Health responded, telling Jade that they received her report and that someone from their office would be contacting her soon. Jade also reached out to Taco Bell corporate and quickly learned that they allegedly already knew about her case, yet still hadn't called her. "They do not care. I told them my fiancé is quite literally on medication for parasites. She wanted to refund me the
She
money.
said
I paid
fiancé
for the
like
meal.
6
I
times
said I need
already,
to talk
y'all.
to someone higher up. That's not an option." Theories over what the parasite was ranged from a harmless horsehair worm to more concerning possibilities, like a tapeworm.
Ascaris.
See, swallowing a tapeworm can lead to intestinal
That's what those
infection,
fucking worms
with
are
symptoms
called.
that include stomach cramps, nausea, or diarrhea. In rare cases, the parasite can even migrate to the brain, leading to headaches, seizures, or even death. If that's not horrifying enough, tapeworms can live up to 30 years and reach 30 feet in length. Understandably,
Onion!
the internet was nauseated. "Thank you for this. I was thinking about getting Taco Bell tomorrow, and now I'll never get it again." There was,
Good.
however, some skepticism. "I don't believe
Fucking
this one
Taco
bit.
Bell is
a
garb.
tapeworm, which I don't think this is one of those, wouldn't survive the cooking process. They don't even
Yes,
live in lettuce
it
or
would.
produce, and it's too clean. I think OP placed it in there for attention." But another user proved just how easy it was to poke holes in this argument. Say, for example, if the meat wasn't properly cooked or the lettuce wasn't properly cleaned. Yes, as our next story proves, there are all kinds of ways for fast food to be contaminated, especially when storage isn't sanitary in the first place.
Tell me this is not disgusting.
That was TikTok user CBXO's reaction after stepping into the restroom at her local Pizza Hut in Ajax, Ontario, which seemed to be operating as a makeshift storage room. That's right, instead of using a back room, or better yet a closet, this material had all been shoved into the restroom. And we're not talking about your typical toiletries here.
The supplies, the pizza boxes, the things in that you put the sauce in and everything. The bags that you put your food in.
The bags.
The paper.
Then, of course, there was the toilet, sitting there, lidless, releasing unspeakable levels of germ with every flush.
Why are there food supplies in the washroom where the toilet is, where people take a doo-doo? This is actually disgusting.
Worse than disgusting.
That's
it's
fine.
dangerous. In 2022, the University of
Don't you
Colorado
like to eat
Boulder
toilet?
conducted a study using green lasers to show just what happens when someone flushes a toilet with the lid open. The results? Well, safe to say, those germs don't stay in the bowl. Proof that's sickening. Potentially, literally. See, if these pathogens include E. coli, C. difficile, noroviruses, or adenoviruses, anyone who enters the bathroom risks infections, considering that these pathogens remain on the toilet bowl even after multiple flushes.
There's a lot of studies that have shown that pathogens persist in the bowl for dozens of flushes after the pathogens are introduced.
And if those pathogens are then sprayed onto the supplies that food is meant to be served on, bon appetit, the TikTok user left Pizza Hut with one message.
Pizza Hut needs to do better.
And viewers seemed to agree. One user pleaded, "Cancel that pizza and run out of there." But while some questioned why no one else had reported this blatant health code violation, according to others, using restrooms as a utility closet had become a disturbing norm in the business. One user claimed they had a similar experience at a Pizza Hut in Ontario, yet received a report from the health department that there were no violations found. Another user commented that this was a common practice at other chains they had worked at, including McDonald's and Walmart, and that this restroom was likely an employee restroom. However, to others, this didn't make a difference, or in the words of one viewer, you don't keep food boxes and supplies where people. A contractor piped in, claiming that this was happening all over and was not really that big of a deal, especially when it's wrapped stuff. But another user clapped back, commenting, "As someone who ran a restaurant, I can tell you it is a big deal and an absolute massive health code violation." And the viewer was right. This storage solution was in direct violation of Ontario's food premises regulation that requires all containers and articles to be stored in a way to reduce the risk of contamination. It wasn't long before Pizza Hut Canada responded to the video, posting on X that they were taking the situation seriously and that it didn't reflect their standards. But it wasn't just Pizza Hut that was taking action. Now Toronto contacted the local health department, which confirmed that they had already received a complaint and conducted an inspection that revealed the items had already been removed and the washroom cleaned thoroughly. But Pizza Hut isn't the only chain that's been accused of some questionable storage solution. This brings us to a bombshell that might have landed on your For You page in the form of a warning.
Don't eat that.
Or an I told you so.
Oh, yeah!
Either way,
Look!
the latest news
I'm
involving this
Stevani!
beloved American chain is far from clickbait.
Popeye's Louisiana kitchen has been slapped with a lawsuit accusing the chain of using unsafe meat here in Ontario.
And according to the company behind the lawsuit, this wasn't just a mistake, it was a cover-up. Popeye's former Canadian chicken supplier, ADP Foods, has alleged that its contract with Popeyes was cut abruptly short after it raised concerns about the fast food chain's other meat supplier. According to the lawsuit, which was filed in May, several Canadian Popeyes franchises in Ontario source their meat from Amjad Farouk Inc., a supplier the suit claims Popeyes chose for its low cost, budgeting that allegedly involved cutting some life-threatening corners. See, the lawsuit accused the other supplier of storing chicken in residential garages, where it was deprived of proper refrigeration. To make matters worse,
Chicken in the
meat was then
garage?
allegedly
Why, that
transported
sounds
on
great.
unrefrigerated trucks and never inspected.
No inspection, no proper cooling, just straight from the driveway to the deep fryer, allegedly.
According to the USDA, when not refrigerated properly, raw meat can develop bacteria rapidly. As for how long it would take for this to happen, say about 2 hours. After that, well, we hope you're hungry for a nasty case of food poisoning. And according to the lawsuit, that's exactly the risk the supplier exposed customers to by providing rotten or expired chicken that was unfit for human consumption. Yet, ADP Foods claimed that even after their concerns about the other supplier were raised, Popeyes continued selling the chicken. Naturally, this news caused a stir online. In a video that received over 100,000 views, TikTok user Kelly Cairo warned her followers.
So, as y'all
go and eat those snack wraps, be careful because doctors right now are telling people to not eat Popeyes.
And while some users were early to the party, I stopped eating Popeyes after I saw how them sandwiches had people acting. Others were painfully too late. I just tore a 3-piece up earlier. OMG. When one user pointed out that this lawsuit only concerned meat at certain locations in Ontario, Callie responded, I'm pretty sure if they're doing shady practices in Canada, they're definitely doing it here. In fact, the news reminded multiple viewers of Popeye's meals that had left them sick to their stomachs. And you don't have to look far to find reports from users who claim their Popeye's chicken has been served on the rarer side of medium.
I mean, what is this? And y'all know Popeyes ain't cheap. I paid $20 for this.
I was just like, this tastes like raw chicken. Luckily, I've had raw chicken before.
I literally got served this raw chicken. This is who served me.
But buried in Callie's comment section was another perspective from the business itself. Yes, Popeyes commented on the allegations, claiming, "This is a former Canadian supplier that is lashing out after losing our Canadian business for good reason. We have vigorous food safety standards, including regular inspections by independent auditors. We haven't found any evidence to support their claims."
Have you ever seen your strategy being victorious?
No! But I never tried.
Popeyes has
Thanks for
described
asking.
the allegations as unfounded. This stance, however, hasn't stopped ADP Foods from seeking a whopping $35 million from Popeyes, its Toronto-based owner, and the supply chain manager to cover profit loss from the prematurely terminated contract, as well as costs lost after boosting its production facilities to meet Popeyes' increased production demand. Of course, most of these stories come down to issues with higher-ups, not fast food workers. You know, the unsung heroes of the restaurant industry. And after laboring over hot grease, manning the drive-thru, and dealing with disgruntled customers all day, sometimes they need a break. At least, their feet do. Our last few stories examine a disturbing new trend happening behind fast food counters, one that has turned more than one customer off their purchase. In January, a viral TikTok exposed a Crumble Cookies employee with one foot in her
Their
crop
cookies suck
and the
anyway.
other resting on a stack of trays. The customer took this disregard for hygiene as a sign to take his money elsewhere.
I'm not eating from her.
While those who didn't splurge on the cookies delighted in the drama, many of Crumble's loyal customers were equally nauseated. The pan stored face up, the Crocs in the workplace, it was all too much for some viewers. After all, if the employee was comfortable doing this in front of customers, users shuddered to think what was happening out of view. However, according to the comment section, this issue wasn't limited to one store. Various users shared photos that suggested, when it came to unshoed workers, Crumble was a repeat offender. One user claimed they caught a cook clipping his nails while on the clock. As the TikTok racked up over 35 million views, demand grew for consequences and, more specifically, for the location, which the original poster happily supplied. He gave an address to a Crumble in West Melbourne, Florida, which viewers promptly flooded with reviews complaining about the foot-like aftertaste of the cookies and dubbing the store Fungal Crumble. Despite the store swiftly deleting these reviews, the fallout from the video continued. The TikTok user even posted his mother returning to Crumble, looking for answers.
I'm looking for the girl with the black socks that had her feet on these trays.
Their refusal to answer meant everyone was a suspect, at least in the comments section. Some users theorized the mother had walked right past the perp who was next to the front door, wearing her Crocs. Others zeroed in on the employee in the back, icing the cookies, wearing suspiciously similar shorts and potentially shoeless again. But as it turned out, this witch hunt was already over. When people reached out to Crumble, a spokesperson informed the magazine that the original video is over a year old and does not reflect appropriate operations. The store was now under new ownership, and according to the spokesperson, appropriate action was taken with the employee involved. Then again, maybe the employee wasn't so bad. They had, after all, kept their socks on. The same could not be said for what was happening at other fast food restaurants. For example, one Reddit post captured a Tim Hortons employee giving their coworker a foot rub. And before you ask, yes, bare hands, bare foot. As for what happened to the sock, one user theorized they were using it to filter their coffee. Another user joked, "Welcome to Tim Hortons, what can I get for you? I would like the large plantar fasciitis latte with extra whipped cream." All kidding aside, what would you do in this nightmare scenario? This was a question TikTok user By Caroline Case already knew the answer to. In a video that's received almost 10 million views, Caroline caught a Domino's employee holding their own foot. We're talking hands interlocked with toes, all while clearly visible to customers. The TikTok user then nervously asked her friend,
Allie, should we leave?
a question that, according to viewers, should have never been a question. Yes, social media was disturbed, especially those who had recently dined there. Still, some viewers saw the humor in the situation. She's on her break, leave her alone. You know that little dusting on the bottom of the pizza? Now you know what it is. One user commented, imagine ordering ahead
All right,
and
let's see
seeing
what
that
Onion
when you
has
pick it
before we
up.
unlock the
To
gate.
which Caroline confirmed, that's what we did. In a follow-up video, Caroline provided further alarming insight into the employee's behavior.
As you saw in the video, she was sitting in the dough containers with her bare feet, massaging them, picking them, don't know, gripped up, full on. And she was doing that for minutes before we started recording.
Caroline did, however, acknowledge that the employee washed her hands before handling any food.
But it's like, I didn't need to be seeing that right behind the counter. Like, that's one thing to do by yourself, and then another to do it and then not stop when people come in.
As for those asking if she contacted the health department,
And I did.
but since then, there's been no update.
They are still open. Domino's has not contacted me.
One thing she did know for sure,
I will not be going back there.
so will a light dusting of toe shavings become the new standard at fast food restaurants? How
Wasn't
about
it
filthy
always?
kitchens or rancid meat? It all depends on what these businesses are willing to risk and what customers are willing to put up with.
At the end of the day, we spend money here. We spend money at these places, and they're nasty.
While you're here, check out our video on the fad that has the public risking their lives with every sip. Reuse.
Nah. Sounds gay.
What
did
the
that
hell are we
Charlotte thing
eating?
go?
That's the question we...
My ex took everything I owned. Years later,
Hang on. This is the one we're on. No,
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Our new scoring system is P is for penthouse,
for heaven,
H obviously for hell, and then L for lobby and limbo as well.
purgatory, limbo, lobby, same. All right, so OP in this story is 24. His girlfriend is 22, and her sister is 20.
Oh, we did watch this.
Full context. Throwaway account because my brother-in-law and a few in real life friends know my user integrity.
I have to confess something.
Yes.
I clogged the toilet this morning. No, I didn't. I'm just kidding.
Minded colleague.
OS. All right, and that guy is, I don't know if he's going to be in the running, but we'll see.
Stick around until the end of the video where we decide who.
Yeah, we did watch that one. It's this one.
My ex took everything I owned. Years later, I got revenge.
Ooh, I like this. I like a good revenge story.
Thank you.
I love revenge
we're
arc.
Like that.
Petty.
We're petty like that.
Clock.
Welcome back to Take It to the Grave, where we react to your most diabolical confessions.
And we decide if you should confess them or
Diabolique.
take them to the grave.
So, my story's kind of long, but worth the read. I lived with an ex for 4 years, and the man never lifted a finger or paid a bill. Lazy. I was finally done supporting him and asked him to move out while I was away for a weekend. When I returned, he'd taken every item in the house. Literally everything, down to the forks. spoons, towels, etc. I'm assuming those were your forks, spoons, and towels?
Probably. Or maybe they were his and he was just like really petty.
Either or, it's pretty petty, you know?
Yeah.
Especially considering she supported him all that time, the least he could have done is leave her with her, like, utensils.
If you really hate someone, leave them the little fork. Like, I don't like the little forks. Leave the little forks and the little spoons. Like, I like the big forks and the big spoons and the knives. I don't like the feeling of a little fork. I just feel like I'm a little baby playing with my little fork.
A little baby with
Where's your little baby with my little fork? Okay.
So I had nothing to cook with or sleep on. I didn't argue. I built myself back up because that's what strong women do. That's when we say, clock it.
Clock it.
Period. Fast forward 4 years. I was like 1,500 kilometers away and he has a new girlfriend of 2 years.
Oh no.
I came home for a trip and while I was there, we spicy danced. We giggity good.
We giggity good.
Giggity good.
I showed him my spice rack.
We giggity good because the schnitzel was the only good thing about that relationship.
I don't know what that means. Can you clarify what that means?
No, I can't. It explains why she was with him for so long. He has pics of his girlfriend in the house everywhere. She was away for work. 3 weeks after I left town, he came home from work to find out the girl left him and took everything.
What?
Didn't even leave him the toilet paper to
I can
wipe
cut the
his
grass.
Oh my god, dude.
So wait, did she know about you?
The only thing that's confusing to me is were they like they broke up and then now they're back together? Like what did I
No,
miss?
she cheated.
Oh,
Like she participated in cheating.
Oh,
She
I
went to his
see.
house and cheated.
Okay, gotcha.
Keep up, darling. The place looked like no one had ever lived there. This girl did this in a matter of 6 hours. My hero.
I hope she took his forks.
I hope she took the forks back. So wait, did she take her forks? See, I wonder if she knew about it, you know? Like, I wonder if she knew that he cheated.
She must have.
She must have, yeah. She probably found, like, a nail or an eyelash.
Or panties.
Okay, so she went back and got with the guy. That's the opposite of strong. 2 giant thumbs down on this loser.
Ah, amethyst!
I mean, you do have a point. I'm not gonna lie. You saw photos of his girlfriend all over his house. This dude, like, screwed you over. He took all your stuff. I think it goes without saying that, like, yes, you moved on and you were strong for that, but you didn't really move on, did you?
No, you didn't. Was it because you wanted to sabotage his next relationship, or was it because you missed that day?
I mean, she doesn't say.
Well, she did say that, like, because of his schnitzel. Maybe she saw all the other little schnitzels and she wanted a big one.
So we actually have a
Bag
part 2
rag.
for this.
Okay.
OP saw the post on the You Need Jesus Instagram account. FYI, some of these are from there. Oof, some harsh comments, but this page is
I gotta
You
go
Need
backwards.
Jesus, and clearly I didn't need it at the time. They ain't wrong. Karma came for me, and I deserved every bit of it. So I guess karma came for him and for her. But clarifications, he sold all the stuff when he took it from me and moved in with her and her stuff. So he ain't got but some half-decent wiener. And even that gets boring, apparently. Best part of the whole thing is that I don't even know that girl's name. He met her in a different city. She never found out I was in her house, as far as I know. Ooh. Interesting. I'd come clean now if I knew who she was. We grow and mature. I was young and incredibly dumb. But she left for reasons totally unrelated. Cleaned him out. Maybe he told her about it and she executed the same plan. Would he really admit to that? Oh yeah, like she supported me for like
A long time, and then I just took all of her
I just
cutlery.
took all her stuff. It was great.
Or is
Not-
that just karma? Karma police. Because, like, he takes everything.
Yeah.
I wonder if she
got it.
stole his wiener, too.
Nobody's keeping up with their ex. I just come from a town of 15,000 people, so circles are very small. So occasionally I still hear about these people as much as I try to disconnect. So I suppose this is more of a 15 years ago, I need Jesus, we grown now. Okay, noted.
Still do.
Still don't love what you did.
No.
You probably should have
One
taken
more
that to the
secrety
grave,
thing, one more
but Thanks for
chest.
sharing.
I'll never get mad at you people for sharing. This is nice.
This is nice.
Gives us something to talk
It
about.
gives us content. We love content.
We should do a You Need Jesus where we both submit some things.
And then nobody knows that it's us.
It would be
Vanilla.
like, I
Oh,
stole
there it
her
is.
sock and never told her.
I farted on his pillow.
I took a poop in her pee. All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Jeez, I better slow down. I'm stealing stuff I don't even need.
I Photoshop every photo of my mom.
Does mama know?
Clearly not.
You know what I love? Those trends of like girls being like, hey honey, come look at this TikTok, and it's like them, but there's a filter that makes their eyes look further apart, and they're like what the hell's wrong with my face? And their eyes are just like further away.
No, babe, that's just what you look like. My mom has had a really hard time the past few years. When she entered menopause, she gained weight, and no matter how much she works out or what diet she tries, she cannot drop it. Ooh. Can relate. I mean, not because I went through menopause, but because my mom also deals with similar things. She's a wonderful person, beautiful inside and out, but I could tell it was really taking a toll on her. So I started lightly photoshopping pictures I take of her before I send them to anyone or print them. I just nip a little here and there, slightly reshaping, smoothing out a few wrinkles, nothing drastic, but enough. Since I have started this, she started acting more confidently.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Oh, that's cute. And has stopped making negative remarks about pictures she's in. She loves being in pictures with everyone again. It has really helped. I've not told anyone and never will.
Oh, that's actually, I don't care like what people say. Like that's kind of nice.
It's kind of sweet.
Because you're not doing it for anyone else other than for your mom.
But what happens though? What happens if someone else takes a picture of her and she looks like I'm sure she doesn't look like you, but you know,
she might just be like, oh, that's a bad picture. Or she might just think that you're a fantastic photographer.
I mean, sounds like a win to me.
Also, how old is she? She's like menopausal. Yeah, she's like 60s.
Yeah, she's 60s.
It's tough, man. Later in life, you know. I love it. I think that's beautiful.
I think that's harmless. My only thing is like, I think like one of the main dangers of like photoshopping yourself is you'll go back on those pictures and be like, oh man, I was so hot. And it's like, oh, I actually like, I photoshopped those. Like, that's not what I look like. I'm always of the opinion that you can do a lot with like lighting and posing. I would always prefer to not edit a photo, and like if you don't like the photo, just don't post it.
But sometimes like you look the way you look despite your best efforts. Like look at this beard. I know it looks like a nest, a bird nest, right? But it is. It's who I am right now.
I like your beard.
Thank you.
I like your beard. It's cute.
Oh, there's something in there. Oh, it's a bird. Yeah, I mean, look, it's harmless. I can see people being like, that's kind of weird.
Okay, so in the comments, people are like, I'm conflicted. It's endearing, but what if she found out? Just keep this one to yourself. This is the thing. You really should keep it to yourself. Like, don't get caught. Whatever you do, don't get caught. Maybe try like the lighting instead, you know, just some better lighting instead of like editing entirely, because like, what if she like sees you editing her photo or something? I don't know.
I mean, you're kind of going down a slippery slope here, because now you got to edit every photo for the next 20 years.
Literally. And like, are you the only person that takes photos?
Maybe you should hire an editor. You hire a team. You build this empire of people. All right, guys, we have photos coming in. You guys got the first 3. You guys got the next 3. Okay, we're gonna do this, right? Maybe you just commission some editors to help you. I mean, I'll help out it. Edit.
Yeah, I'm down to help out too, just to keep this one alive. He cheated. I failed his classes.
He cheated. I failed his classes. I don't understand what that means.
I don't understand either. Is he your teacher?
I need more context.
I need the context. Give us the context. My ex in college cheated on me while I was visiting my family out of the country. I didn't say anything when I found out. Instead, I went onto his laptop, logged into his college portal, and failed every single quiz and exam available online.
Oh my God. That is the pettiest ever.
Oh God. And she finished this by saying, can't cheat your way out of this one.
Is that it? Yeah. Oh my God. That is so petty.
Oh, that is so petty. I love it. Good for you. Wow, that's like life ruiner petty.
Yeah, that's borderline.
That's
I mean, like,
pretty bad, babe.
I know people are gonna be like, yeah, well done, screw that, because he's a cheater. But it's like, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, but like at the same time, like if you really like this person and you saw yourself being with them, they kind of ruined your life by cheating on you too. So like, an eye for an eye, an eye for an eye,
tooth for a tooth. That is extremely petty.
I love it.
Did he not notice that like he was like, oh, I didn't actually take that quiz yet? That's weird that
Yeah, I mean, who knows what ended up happening. Like maybe he had to dig himself out of some hole, but like how was he gonna explain that to people?
Oh, I have this crazy ex-girlfriend.
But did you ever tell him? Because this is you need Jesus.
Well, I'm sure that he found out. Can you imagine having to like explain that to your teachers?
Yeah, this crazy ex of mine just like logged into my portal and failed all my exams.
And it's like, well, why did she do that? What did you do?
Well, I cheated on her, but
Oh.
I don't know. That's pretty far-fetched. I don't know if I would believe that.
Also, my dog ate my homework? Yeah. What if your dog actually ate your homework, you know?
You would definitely need photos. Not very smart to confess to a felony online. Pretty easy to prove. I mean, that does sound like she's admitting to a crime. Like, I don't know what crime.
Maybe she could have been expelled for that, but I assume this was years ago.
Well, I mean, I feel like this is also like impersonation. Like you're impersonating someone. I don't know if it's a crime. It might be a crime.
I mean, if he's jobless and
shit.
homeless now because you couldn't get a degree,
I gotta
you
make
couldn't
sure
get a
I
job,
keep
like,
that
that's one
fucking
thing.
guy
I mean,
with
is
me,
it
I
deserved?
guess.
I don't know.
Like, it's a funny idea and petty, but yeah, it's kind of.
I bet you anything he'll never cheat again.
It's true, but at what cost?
She wasn't the one.
It's okay, I forgive him. Everybody gets cheated on. No, I haven't seen him.
I am a straight man who goes to gay bars.
Oh.
Oh.
Fun.
Okay.
Kind of sounds fun.
That sounds fun. You know, I've actually heard of people doing this. I'll read the story and then I'll tell my little 2 cents afterward. If I feel like getting drunk by myself, I will go to a gay bar rather than a straight one because I like the attention I get. This is exactly why the person I know goes to gay bars. He would not only go for the attention, he would go because he would get free drinks. There's a thing about gay men liking straight men. Like, it's like a thing. Like, as much as I'd hate to admit it, it's kind of up. They kind of see a straight guy as like the ultimate conquest. Some gay men, not all gay men, he would go to gay bars and pre-drink for his night out.
That's actually amazing.
And get drinks for free because, like, you know, the gay guys are all trying to chat you up and they can tell that you're straight.
When I was single and I'd go to bars, like, no one would want to talk to me. I'd always be like, hey, how's it going? They'd be like, off, and like,
Gay
walk
guys?
away. No, straight women.
Women?
I just had no game. I don't know why you chose me.
I don't know either.
I had no game because I'm like a bit of like an introvert and I have a stutter. So I'm like, hey, drink by you, Mike. And they'd be like, what the f are you talking about? And I'd be like, I'm gonna leave now.
Honestly, kind of same. I didn't really get approached a lot either. So I like the attention I get. It's more relaxed because I don't have to worry about drunk, insecure dude bras with something to prove. Plus, I can drink fruity drinks without being seen as less as a man.
I kind of love that.
I love that. Have your Cosmo, babe. Oh, that's really cute. Wow. Okay, so there's actually people in the comments that are saying that they also do this.
Oh, by accident.
Yeah, okay. I did this on a business trip. It was by accident, but I actually enjoyed the night. The bartender gave me a straight stamp on my hand and nobody hit on me after that.
A straight stamp?
A straight stamp. Okay. They were all super polite. It was also very clean and had fun club music playing. 10 out of 10 would go again. Dude, good music starts in the gay bars. Like, that's where like house music was born.
We were in Dublin and it was like a bunch of guys for a bachelor party. And we asked a local, like, what's a really good pub to go to? And he gave us the name of this place. And he was probably taking the because he sent us to this gay club.
Yeah, totally.
So we walk in and we're like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then like we like noticed like there weren't any girls or like there was just like things that I was like, what the hell? And then we realized it was a gay bar and the guy was.
That guy thought you were a total twat. Like, he was just like, oh, these losers. Let's send them to the gay pub.
No, that's like British. Just go Irish.
These losers, we're gonna send them to the gay bar.
Thomas Shelby, who are you?
That's actually very funny, and I've heard of people doing that. Like, I've heard of straight guys doing this and like not being ashamed of it.
It'd be kind of fun. I think I'm gonna go out on Friday by myself.
Oh,
I just want some attention. I don't know.
Wait, can I come?
No, you're always busy. I'm gonna go by myself.
We should go out tonight.
Yes. Can we go to a gay bar though?
Of course we're gonna go to a gay bar.
Let's go. I love gay guys.
I had an affair with a senior executive on a work trip.
Ooh, that's not good.
Ooh, like your boss?
Yikes.
Ooh,
Yikes.
Spicy.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Tell me.
Why don't you meet me in the boardroom for a
quick meeting, quick evaluation.
On document 69. We have to go over 69. Document 69.
I went on a business trip years back. Me and a couple of colleagues and the COO. She was married with kids, 20 years older than me. Oh, it was a woman. Why did I assume they would be a man? That's just
men's
like
as
patriarchy
hoes
in my head, you know? We had a client presentation which went well, after which our COO took us to dinner and drinks to celebrate. My two colleagues decided to leave after dinner whilst me and the COO stayed at the bar. She kept buying me drinks and started complimenting me on my looks. One thing led to another, and we ended up going to her hotel room. She must have not gotten it on the regular from her husband because she was wild.
Oh, God. That's kind of sad.
Yeah. Oh, man. And like, OP knew about the kids too, and the husband. We ended up dancing all night, and the morning after, I topped it off. Oh!
He stuffed her like a Boston cream donut. A double chocolate Boston cream donut.
A chocolate cannoli. We never spoke of it again, and I guess we pretended it never happened. Almost 10 years since, and she keeps liking my post on IG.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
That
All right,
was a hefty.
I've had
That
enough.
was a hefty one.
That was a hefty.
That's a hefty.
That is enough streaming for today.